how would I be able to transition the kind of understanding and the perception that I've gotten, okay, into the main Ghanaian mainstream youth national life, and where I ask all of us to see what I am seeing, so that many of us so that we can have prosperity, and of course shared prosperity in the next 3 to 5 years across Ghana. And my vision is to mobilize between 500 to 1 million youth across Ghana in the next 3 to 5 years towards agricultural entrepreneurship, agro value chain system, anything agriculture, value chain, supply chain, using technology and all that, fighting climate change, ensuring food security and all that. I'll be talking about later. So I decided that I would take a move, and those of us who are pastors will know that God will not move until you make a move. So I took that move, and this is where we are today. It is my hope that this vision will grow stronger, and it will impact on us, the youth of tomorrow. We are the future leaders of tomorrow. We want to make Ghana a prosperous nation. We want to make Ghana one of the best exporter of all agri-foods that we can ever think of. And I believe that you and I, together, we can make it happen in Ghana. Not only in Ghana, in Africa, not only in Africa, but the rest of the world. Hallelujah. So I put together, I invited some government officials, I invited experts in the field, in the ecosystem, to all come, join our hands together so that we can drive this narrative and see how we can all arrive in the future. So welcome, and I welcome all of you. Take advantage and leverage on all the opportunities that will be available this afternoon, because there are so many opportunities that are going to be released onto us. And as you are here, one of the things I want you to know is that be fast and be sharp. Just locate the opportunity. Just open your intuitive heart and just locate, see it, and grab it. And that can be a turning point in your future career. Is that okay? So let's all grab this opportunity. Let's all hold it. And all the speakers are almost here. And we have already more than half of the speakers here. Others are on their way here. And I want you to be fast. Just open your heart, open your mind, and receive everything that will be said today. Thank you very much. Close your eyes as we pray. Father, I want to thank you. We give you all the glory. We thank you for Ghana. We thank you for Ghana Youth. We thank you for Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit. We are grateful that what we are seeing today is the beginning of greater things to come. Lord, everyone that is on his way coming, we pray for traveling mercies, journey mercies. Anyone who's going to speak this afternoon, we ask for utterance. We ask that, Lord, you will help us to be able to understand and see, because you are the first farmer. The first farmer that ever happened was you, or is you. And the one that you created became a first farmer in the garden. Lord, we ask that we as youth of Ghana, we are ready to prosper. We are ready to scale up. We are ready to go to our next level. We thank you. We honor you. In Jesus' name, we have prayed. Amen. Put your hands together.
Put your hands together. Put your hands together for our convener and the visionary, Reverend Evans Mensa. Put your hands together once again. God will not move until you make a move. This is a profound statement, and I'm sure that this morning you're all ready with your notebooks and your notepads for the first speaker. We wouldn't want to waste much time. I'm sure that we all have seen the promotion, the adverts on social media, on radio, and on TV. And this morning, our first speaker is in the person of Mr. Dominic Odro Entry. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Dominic Odro Entry. He's the president of Ghana-India Trade Advisory. Put your hands together for Mr. Odo. Put your hands together.
Good morning, still morning. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my friends from the media and then the youth. My work here is very simple. I came to add wisdom to the knowledge you have. And I'm excited when we talk about agriculture. Yes, I'm from Ghana India Trade Advisory Chamber and Global Africa Chamber. I want to thank you, Reverend Evans, for giving me the opportunity to be here to speak to your people. First of all, I'll engage all of us to focus. Watch me for the next few minutes. That's the only way we can become better. When we are focused, we can make it. I want to talk about our perception. We normally say, the youth, they are what? Future leaders. So today, I want to challenge you. We're going to stop using that, and we are going to say the youth are the now generation. The now generation means we should be able to start training the youth to take up the mantle, not when we are gone. We should start now. So I'm going to talk about your perception. Sometimes we can blame everybody, blame politicians. I've seen John here. Blame the politicians, your mother, your cousin, your sisters, but we refuse to blame ourselves. What is wrong with us? First, everything starts with you. Do you understand? Every other thing starts with you. It does not start with anybody. So what I did, we have a foundation, and then the foundation decided to launch what we call the Knowledge Bank. Basically, the Knowledge Bank talks about your idea, your concept. You bring it to us, and then you come and store it. Like the way you have your money, you take it to the bank to save. So you save your knowledge or your wisdom concept with us, and then we give you money, or we give you an investor to help you do your business. That is one. The second thing I'd like to talk about is that let's pay very little attention to negative news. Check how we can spread negative news. We spend so much time on our phone. Something is wrong somewhere, we can easily send it to somebody else. But ask yourself, when was the last time you had time to promote positive news? Today, you are talking about youth in Agric. There is no jobs out there. We have 5 million graduates every year chasing 100,000 jobs. All of us cannot be employed. You have to start employing yourself now from school. And that is why I said I launched the Knowledge Bank, because when we stand here to speak with you, we should be practical. We're not going to talk about theories and grammar and speeches. The whole thing should start with us. So I also want to talk about a change. A change is very difficult, but it brings progress. I'll just use the politicians. You realize that we have a party in power. The next one, when there's a change, you see how the opposition, they suffer. Are you aware? Oh, speak with me or speak to me. Are you aware? So it takes them time for them to learn. Because once you go into a position, you should learn. And that is what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot live your life the same. You cannot depend on people to become better. They can help you in a way. But for me, you have to be able to embrace a change. And I'll be running up very soon because, like I told the MC, I don't like talking too much. I like the practical expression. So let's also think about also giving some attention to what we've been called to do. I don't know what you've been called to do here at KNUST or wherever you're coming from, but that is what you came here to do. Spend most of your time, your sound is just too much. Spend most of your time to do what you came to school to do. That is the reason why your parents brought you here. Today, we have different speakers who are going to talk about more into details about our Greek. But what we are doing, we have a foundation, and the foundation is doing something this year. We are going to concentrate only on women or ladies in our Greek. That is what we are doing this year. So we want to see more young ladies coming up with their own, one, it can be concept, two, it can be farming. That's what we are interested in. We're also going to support that. I'm done, and I'm going to introduce my mother. I met her somewhere in New York in 2019 when we went for the UN conference. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome my mother, Bishop Dr. Tony Luke. Please clap for her. She came all the way to meet you. You can do it better as she comes.
Good morning. You can do better than that. Good morning. You should have said I was a Pentecostal preacher, then maybe you'd give me a little bit of feedback. Good morning. That's a little better. May we give all honor to the God of our lives, and may the words of my mouth and the speaking of my heart resonate with you. I'm a transformation specialist, and I don't speak, I'm not an entertainer, so when I come someplace, I expect people to change. So I hope that happens for you today. We give great honor to our visionary pastor. This is probably, aside from the day you were converted, if you are, the most important meeting that you'll ever be in. This meeting is probably, if not the most important, one of the most important meetings that any of you will ever be in, no matter what your classes are, no matter what your school direction is. And I just want to spend a few minutes to tell you why. The first thing I want to tell you, though, is when your mother and father got together and made you, there was a little experiment that happened. The sperm that left your dad had to fly and travel upstream to find an egg. Are you following me? It had to travel upstream against gravity to find an egg in one of two fallopian tubes. And your need to exist was so strong that that seed found you. So if you never do anything else in life, you already have done the greatest thing. You became. So give yourself a hand. Someone may tell you, you all need to get more excited. Is it too early on Saturday morning? Maybe you don't understand. 150 million sperm left your daddy's loins, and one of them survived to become you. Your desire in the universe was so strong that you beat out at least another 150 million people. Somebody ought to be very excited about that. No, you're not excited about that. You need to get really excited that you made it. And so if nothing else happens, if people tell you anything about yourself, you can always tell them, I made it. And the fact that you exist today, young people, is the fact that your desire to come into the earth, to produce something for God was so strong that you beat out 150 million other people. So you need to be very conscious of that. Why did I say this is one of the most important meetings you will ever be in? Because agriculture is the heart of everything we have to do. It produces food, it changes our environment, it helps us have food security, it helps us have nutritional value, and the fact that you care about that as young people, because I know you think, I'm a farmer. I have a farm in South Africa, I have a farm in Ghana. And see, farmers can look cute, right? Don't I look cute? Farmers are not always in coveralls. Well, in the morning we are at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was just saying to Dominic, why are we starting so late? They don't understand. Farmers start work at 3 o'clock in the morning. So you all are getting a break. But farming and agriculture is not just what we do on the ground. It's how we get, like Pastor said, it's an ecosystem. It's how the seeds get in the ground. It's how the water gets, how irrigation, how we move the products from the ground to the store, how we make the products from the ground to the store. There are at least 200 various jobs in agriculture. So if you're not so keen to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning like we do and start planting, you can also run the trucks. You can also run the systems. You can also do technology, except that noisy thing over there. And so there's too many things to do. So be excited. Also, we need to get you young people out of the city. You need to go back to the land, because the land is where you will find so much excitement. We have a project in South Africa called Ilali, where everything happens on the land. We have a beautiful environment. Everything we do is on the land. So you don't have to go to the big city to go to a movie or go to a club. You can take all of those activities. You shaking your head, right, Mark? You can take all of these activities to the farm. So you can create ecosystems on the farm. And as Dominic said, with the thousands and millions of you graduating, you have to create your own jobs. Now, I'm a resistance person and kind of a thug, so I want to just give you one thing that I hope you will pay attention to. Right now, our food security is being threatened, and many of you will be here, will help us. There's something called terminator seeds. They are seeds that grow once. Now, God had a very good idea. He put the life of the fruit is in the seed. Does everybody know that? And the seed reproduces after its own kind. So there's some people who think they're smarter than God, and they made fruit without seeds. And then they made seeds that only live for one season. These are things we have to resist as Africans, because God intended for us never, ever, ever to be hungry. He intended for us never, ever, ever to have famine, because inside the fruit you're eating is the next fruit you're going to eat. Do you understand? And so anyone who's pushing a product that does not allow that, we have to resist that. Because if we don't, we will starve in Africa. Do you understand me? How many of you with me? Look at this hands, I love it. You have to resist things that are your own demise. And terminator seeds from these big companies who say they're helping us get better yields, but then you have to get more pesticides. It belies the fact of what Pastor saw when he saw those farmers. God intended for us never to be hungry. And so the fruit carries the seed of the future. Are you with me? And I just have two more things just to say to you. Right now, only 43% of all the arable land in Ghana is being used. Do you see how much opportunity there is? That means there's 57, more than half of the land in Ghana, just in Ghana. And I don't know about you, but most of Africa is empty. Please don't let anybody tell you that Africa's overpopulated. We're not overpopulated. All of us could fit in the DRC, and the rest of Africa would be empty. Africa is not overpopulated. So part of why you're in school is for you. About this or what? Part of why you're in school is for you to think. Do not just buy what anybody says. Go do your research. Go do your understanding. So literally 57% of all the arable land in Ghana is available for you. Somebody ought to say amen. Now, there are two projects I want to give you before I take my seat. Right now, Ghana imports, did you hear me? Can you say import? Imports $1 billion of rice. I've been in Ghana since 97, so I kind of think we like rice. Do we like rice? In fact, you ask somebody, what are you eating today? They don't say beans and meat. What do they say? Come on now. Rice. We import $1 billion of rice every year. That's a big business for somebody, isn't it? We have the land, we have the water, we have the temperature. So we need to start thinking about that. That's $1 billion of rice. We eat more than that, but we import $1 billion of rice. The other thing we do is we use about 440,000 tons of tomatoes. We import tomatoes. We import tomatoes. That's another big business. I'm just giving you those two. You can do some additional research. But between rice and tomatoes, you can have an amazingly lucrative business. And then, of course, tomatoes turn into tomato paste. They turn into tomato ketchup. So we have opportunities. So trust me, young people, there are so many amazing opportunities in the agriculture space. And I'm so proud of your pastor and the convener for putting this together so that you would be able to hear from these wonderful speakers and learn about the opportunities. May God bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you and give you His peace. I'm going to need some help.
Thank you. Oh, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Keep on clapping. Keep on clapping. Thank you very much. Are you ready for the next speaker? I want to hear you. Are you ready? No. I'm not hearing. Are you ready? Good. I want to introduce the next speaker shortly. And like I said, my job are two, MC, and I'm also on the bill. So I'll be short in introducing people. So the next speaker, he has actually decided to take advantage of the almost 60 arable land. He is a politician, a farmer, and a serial entrepreneur. Ghana, help me welcome Mr. John Dumelo. You can still clap.
Good morning. The MC said I only have 3 minutes to talk. I don't know why, but I'll try and make it 3.5 minutes. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back on campus. I was in tech. I studied civil engineering. I was in Queen's Hall. Phew, why? Queen's Hall is the best. Oh, I should have been in Katanga. Anyway, and so I'm happy to be back here. I used to have lectures just at that building. But today we are talking about agriculture. And yes, I'm a farmer. And hello? Yes, I'm a farmer. And I'm just here to share my little experience with you. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers for organizing such a brilliant event, to Pastor Evans and the rest of the team. I just hope and pray that this event will continue every year so that we can inspire the youth. I'm sure that if this event had started years and years or decades ago, I'm sure we would have a lot of great farmers in this country. But better late than never. The time is now. The time to start farming is now. And I think as a farmer, you all know the benefits of farming. But like I always say, farming teaches you 3 things. 1, you have to have patience. 2, you have to have passion for the job. And 3, you have to persevere. So patience, passion, and perseverance. These are the 3 most important things about farming. You know, when you put a seed in, if it's a vegetable, it can take 3 months. If it's cocoa, rubber, coconut, and so on and so forth, it takes about 4 or 5 years. But when you see the fruits coming out as a farmer, you are happy about it. And so this morning, I'm just here to share my little experience with you and to also let you know that agriculture is the way forward in this country. Agric is the way forward. And what motivates me every single morning when I wake up is the fact that somebody has to eat, and the food must come from somewhere, and the food must come from a farmer. And so that is enough motivation for you to go into farming. But unfortunately, we have certain obstacles that we face. We have climate, we have lack of infrastructure, we have lack of access to credit, and so on and so forth. But I know that with the implementation of one of the programs, NEIP, which is YouStart, the CEO is here. I'm sure that I hope and pray that most of the funds will be channeled to agro-based businesses so that we can develop as a country. And I'm sure me myself, I'll come and apply and get some. Abi say Obama maybe. Problem no day. I'm a farmer. God bless you, my brother. God bless you. And so this morning, I would encourage each and every one of us to get into farming. I do a lot of ginger. I do ginger in the Oti region. I do maize in Wale Wale, and I have grass cutters in Japon. But as a farmer, every single day, I'm trying as much as possible to start something new or to start new things. As we speak, almost every month, I harvest about 200 to 300 bags of ginger, and I supply it to most of the factories in Accra and Tema. Almost every month, when my maize is ready, I harvest it. I store some of them, and the rest I sell it to the market women. Almost every month, my grass cutters, I kill them. I kill them, and it's such a bad word, but I prepare them for the table. For lack of a better expression, I prepare them for the table. I used to have goat, I used to have cattle. But the joy in agric is the fact that you know that you're putting food on the table for somebody. That is what gives me joy. And I hope that also gives you joy as well. But one important fundamental thing is you always have to start small. As a farmer, don't think that, okay, you want to be a farmer, so you're looking at tractors, you are looking at, big acres of land and so on and so forth to start. You can just start in your backyard. You can even start in your halls. Those in, Katanga, Unity, and Queen's Hall, and so on and so forth. You can even start with a little pot or a little can. Just grow tomatoes, just grow onions, just grow something. And that is how you develop the interest in agric. Don't look at the bigger picture yet in terms of where you're going to get money to buy tractors and storage and so on and so forth. You can start in your homes, in your houses, in your backyards, and grow with agric. I started agric 10 years ago, and I'm growing with it. I didn't start, for some of the things, I started big because I thought I would make it bigger. But the bigger I started, the quicker I failed, if I don't know if that makes sense. So I wanted to start a snail farm. I started with 15,000 snails immediately. I bought the snails, I started rearing them. And months down the line, most of the snails died. Why? Because I didn't grow with that snail business. So I didn't learn about it quickly. I just wanted to maximize my profit. And then most of them died. But now if you ask me about snail farming, I can give you the best advice about it because the failure has taught me or has given me experience. And so start small, grow with the business. If grass cutter like this, you can start with 3 or 4. Within a year, you can have about 10 or 15 because grass cutters give birth at least once every year. They'll give birth 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4. They'll give you 3 or 4. And so if you have 2 females or 3 females, within a year, they can give you about 10 in total, and you can have about 15. Pigs too are very profitable. But the problem with pigs is that they eat a lot. Yeah. But piggery is very profitable. Pigs, you can get about 10 or 15 at a go, and they give birth almost every 3 months or 4 months. And so within a year, from one pig, you can get about 30 or 35. And so pigs are also very profitable. But the thing about agric is you have to have time for it. You have to dedicate your time. Don't say that you have the farm somewhere in, your hometown or somewhere, and so somebody's taking care of it. No, you have to be there. You have to weed. You have to grow. You have to take care of it so that when you harvest it, you can sell. And one of the most important things about agric is times and seasons. It's very important when it comes to agric. At this time of the year, everybody is clearing their land. Everybody is trying to plant. And so by July or August, everybody is harvesting. And you realize that you would have a bumper harvest because everybody is harvesting their tomatoes, their onions, and their maize. And so people will say, oh, John, I've cultivated maize, but it's hard for me to sell because I cannot get market. It's times and seasons. You have to plant at a time that when you are harvesting, the market is there and is ready for you, and you would get a good price for it. And so this morning, I'm here to encourage you to get into farming. I'm here to encourage you to dig deeper and read and research about whichever farming it is that you want to do, so that 10 or 15 years down the line, we would have great farmers in this building. Amen? One last thing is value addition. We all cannot be farmers, but we can all, or some of us can add value to whatever it is we produce. I produce ginger. But to tell you the truth, when I add value to it, that is when I turn into ginger paste or ginger powder, the profit margin is twice or is double. And so when you add value to whatever it is you're doing, you would make twice or 3 times the profit margin. It's like you want to make fruit juice. You get some oranges, you get some pineapples, you get some watermelons. With 20 cedis, you can get all these fruits. But the number of cups that you can make out of them, and even if you sell 1 cup for 10 cedis, you can make 200 cedis profit out of each and every one of them. And so value addition is very important. And so this morning, I'm challenging each and every one of you to do some research, add value to whatever it is we produce. The cocoa that we export outside this country that we don't add value to it, start thinking about making your own chocolates. The coconuts, the rubber, whatever it is that we produce and we export, it's about time we add value to it. So that in the next decade or 2 to come, Ghana is going to be like China. Ghana is going to move forward in the right direction, and God will bless each and every one of us. God bless you, and have a nice day.
Please, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Thank you, Mr. John Dumelo. We have a lot of interesting panelists which will be unveiling very soon. We also have in our dignitaries. We also have in our midst other dignitaries which we'll be introducing very soon. But before that, we want to call on Ama Sewa Frimpong. She's the founder of Trillion Farms and OASL. Let's welcome our sister, Ama Sewa Frimpong, my namesake. Please, put your hands together. She's a lady and she's a farmer.
Good morning. Oh, good morning. In my church, we have a slogan that I believe resonates with the theme of this conference. Do I have any AG members here? Okay, so when we say the youth are alive, you respond? Fantastic. The youth are alive? Great. So just as the slogan says, when the young people are alive, vibrant, contributing to the economy of the country, indeed, the country moves forward. Fantastic. I am Amasewa Frimpong, and I like to be called the Queen Farmer, just because it's more appealing than just calling myself a farmer. And I'm going to share with you my journey, the opportunities within the agribusiness space, as well as some few lessons I have learned on that journey. But first and foremost, I'm sure you are wondering, why females in agribusiness? It's simple. A lot of statistics has been shown today that shows that in Ghana as it stands now, we are more than 400,000 plus women than male. Please give us an applaud. So with a country with women being more than the men, obviously, I think the right thing to do is to have women at key positions and key sectors of the economy. We constitute more than 50.7% of the entire populace. Again, a reason why we need to be at the forefront of the different sectors. So I'm very happy we have Kofi Ofosu in here, and I'm going to humbly appeal to him that there should be a bit more intentional when it comes to interventions for women in the agri space. Amen? Now let's talk about the agribusiness value chain. Often at times we refer to it as farm to fork. But the truth of the fact is that before the farm and way after the fork, there are opportunities that you can identify and make a business out of. All you need to do is open your eyes, identify problems, research, get the real information you need, and then get a model that would help you translate it into a business. Okay, I don't want to take much time, so I'm just going to tell you my journey in the agri space. Next slide, please. Yes. So my journey started with me being, that word you see there is not UN employed, it's actually unemployed. So I started like most of you seated here, unemployed, graduates from school, figuring out what to do next. And those are the days that you would see a job advertisement that says, country manager, USAID. Wouldn't pass, won't qualify, but unemployment would make you apply for it. Can you relate with that? Yes, that's how I started. It was so hard getting a job. I had a degree, a master's degree, but I was just not getting the job. So I asked myself, what do I do? And then faith found me, favor found me. I fell into agribusiness, and before you know it, I was so passionate of the space that I turned it into a business. My first business in the agri space was working as a field researcher. If you are very familiar with the place known as Afram Plains, you'd realize that there's a remote island there called the Dwarf Islands. I spent a whole month in that area researching on fish smoking activities. After that, I came back to Accra and I questioned myself, did introspection, and I realized that I was not really a corporate person. I enjoyed being on the field, seeing physically you impacting the lives of people. So now I was no longer applying for the jobs I know I'm not qualified for. I was a bit more intentional. So my next job was as an area planner in the cocoa value chain. I work for Winco Agriculture. Now the interesting aspect of this is that I was the only female with a workforce of more than 400 people. Oh, Mumbonsim. So being the only female, you get to deal with farmers a lot. Those are the days you hear them pass comments like, hey, oba we do din din din, oba we de bibi sheneniase. But if you are here today and you're a young woman, challenging the narrative, breaking the bias, and trying to break the status quo, you get such comments. So don't let it annoy you or infuriate you, but rather let it spearhead you onto higher heights. I moved on, came to Accra, and I thought now it was time to start my own business. And that's how come I started Trillion Farms. Trillion Farms is an organic farm in the Volta region of Ghana. We currently cultivate about 20 acres. But that's not the excitement. The excitement with Trillion Farms is the fact that we have a farming is feminine agenda. Say farming is feminine. Often at times, people think that the agri space is for males and only males can thrive here. It's a lie. We are women, we can get into this space, and we can do equally, if not better, than what the men are doing in this space. After Trillion Farms, I was still not satisfied. I had outgoers who are females working for me, but I wanted to challenge myself more. As I share this story, please take note of the opportunities I've spoken about, because there are so many things that I've done in the space that anybody can also do. I started my newest baby, which is Owasal. How many of us know cashew? Show by hands. But when we talk about cashew, what everybody knows is what? The nuts. But do you know that there's actually a fruit called the cashew apples? If you come to Ghana, that's one of the commodities or fruits that is wasted. We don't sell it because it deteriorates so fast, so nothing is being done with it. At OSL, we collect this waste and convert it to industrial ethanol. For a country that is importing more than 700 million liters of ethanol every day, that's a big opportunity that we can take advantage of. And you don't need to do a lot. Thank you. Okay, now I'll just quickly share the takeaways I've had on my journey. And it's very similar to that of John Dumelo. Okay, when you come into this space, the first thing that you need to know is that you don't have to quit. Don't quit. Because when you start as a new baby, just like with any entrepreneurial venture, it's small, so you don't see progress. So you are tempted to say, now who sent me? I can't kill myself. But please, don't quit. In agribusiness, you need to learn the ropes, okay? You need to go to people who have ideas about what you are doing, who have the knowledge, who have failed and failed forward. They can teach you. If they don't get to teach you anything, at least they can teach you how not to fail like they failed. The next thing you have to know is that you have to fail forward, which I've spoken about. Lastly, you have to manage your expectation. A lot of times I get calls, people will call me, oh, I'm a sewa. You say farming, they will see to say bro. Meaning that farming is $1 trillion industry, so when you come in there, abacadabra, you become a millionaire overnight. It doesn't happen like that. You need to put your skin in the game. You need to work a model for some time before you can make anything meaningful out of it. Now, I'll quickly jump to the lessons. Okay. The reason why I'm going to talk about the lessons is to encourage my women. I know I'm gender biased, forgive me. But if you're a woman and you want to get into this space, you have to have grits. Say grits. Grits. And you're brona and no pano. But grit is a combination of passion, courage, diligence, and mental fortitude. Because you have a lot of people saying that, or your bar owns me, okay? And so often at times you'll be discouraged. But if you have grit, when you fail, you're like, and so what? Let's move on. Let's go on. So you need grit to be in the value chain. The next thing is you need a business model. I said that agribusiness is not abacadabra. You need a model that works. Who are you going to sell your product to? What is the opportunity you have identified? What makes you unique as a business? Is it that you are providing quality premium goods? What is that unique factor about you? What are the consumers that are ready to buy your product? What are the resources you have available? For some of you seated here, you have lands in your villages that has been bequeathed to you. That's a resource you can take advantage of. What are some of the key activities that you need to initiate for you to succeed? I'll go on to the next lesson, which is a network or a mentor. You need people to help you. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey. Do you know that? It's very lonely, and sometimes I will tell you a story about myself. When I started this journey, okay, often at times my mom would be like, maybe what a bro, na farm. You understand? And she would always tell me how my late grandfather, failed because of farming, blah, 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 blah. But today, because I have a lot of success stories, she's coming in there 3 a.m. to pray for me to succeed. And so you need people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, who would encourage you. You need people you can call and say, oh, my cabbage is not doing too well. What do I need to do? And they would guide you. Please, do we understand? And last but not the least, I'm a Christian. And I believe that with God, all things are possible. If you are coming into the agribusiness space and you're a female, you need the God factor. If you don't believe in God, whatever it is you believe in, you need that thing to guide you. Because there are moments that it will be left with you and yourself. What will keep you sound? What will keep you going? For me, it is God. And I share these experiences hoping to find more females in the space. Because do you know what? The future is female. I'm a South African boy, and it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
to clap again. I want you to clap again. I'm also gender biased towards the female. So clap again for her. Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit. We've listened to very interesting submissions by our speakers. We have about 5 people, 5 very, very special, just like the others, people to also talk to us. Next on our list, we have a lawyer. Actually, I've known the next speaker for a very long time. I met him when he was very young. And don't be deceived, I'm also young. I met him and I was amazed at his business prowess. At that tender age, I was surprised what I was hearing from him and the kind of things he was doing. At that age, I don't think I was privileged like you all to hear about agric mechanization and irrigation and some things he was talking. I didn't even understand. But thank God for our convener, Reverend Evans Chairman. Let's put our hands together for him. Today, he has invited him to share with us his journey being an agric entrepreneur and now a lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our next speaker, Mr. Richard Nunez. Please put your hands together for Mr. Nunez.
Good morning, everyone. I must confess the MC have not been fair to me because I'm speaking right after 2 very powerful speakers. And I'm not very powerful when it comes to public engagement. But you will pardon me, my first observation entering this hall was wow. I think Reverend deserves a round of applause. I coming to this event, I didn't imagine I was going to see a gathering of very young people who will be interested in listening to conversation about agric. I say this because of the perception we have about agric in this country. And to see very young people interested in listening to conversation of agric is very heartwarming. And I think I'll rather not share a story, but will motivate these young people in different ways. The transition we've had, I'm sure some of us growing up in secondary school where we used to have a subject called agricultural science. I'm not sure that is being taught anymore. Is it still being taught? I think the transition has moved from agricultural science to agribusiness. So it's not just the science anymore. It's also about the business side of agric. And that is where the next generation must focus on. But the next generation cannot focus on the business side of agric without understanding the impact of technology and innovation in that space. I say so because we are in a technological era. All of us here, I'm sure, have smartphones. All of us here understand the use of social media. So we should begin to think about how we can use technology to influence agriculture and also make it more sexier for young people to be interested in. Because if we continue to do agric the way our grandfathers and great-grandfathers used to do it, the impact Reverend and his team's sake
can never be created. It will only continue to be a gathering of young women and men, great speakers, and that ends it. So to be able to elevate this conversation to practice, young people must appreciate the dynamics and how technology influences agriculture in Ghana. And by technology, I mean how people are using technology to even identify where you start your farming activity. Because land selection is very key in farming. Today, the rain patterns are not usual. You can predict it. So if you want to farm, your land location is very key. And it being closer to water source is paramount. And beyond that, there are various technologies that are available today to aid you in the development of the land. So gone were the days when you have to use hoe and cutlasses. Today, that is not happening, even though still people do that. So as young people, your interest in this sector, or the call for young people to be interested in agri, should be a call that young people will accept, looking at the opportunities they can leverage with technology. So today, we know that for our fathers and mothers in the villages, you can never beat them to the act of farming, as to clearing the land and putting in seed. But there's a science to it. Technology has taught us how to do soil analysis. There are various forms of soil analysis that you are doing it in the lab or you are doing it on the field through rapid tests. How can young people develop technologies that can help our mothers and fathers and even themselves be able to determine on the spot which type of crop to grow on which type of soil? That should be an interest someone sitting here should be interested in. The type of seeds that we use. The earlier speaker was talking about now having seedless or terminate seeds. When you grow once, you can use them again. It is someone's innovation, maybe because the person thinks that that is the best way to increase yield. But can we also have indeterminable seeds which could still give us increased yield? That is an opportunity a young man or woman here should be interested in. We have various forms of irrigation technologies coming in today. It used to be irrigating with water cans. Then we moved to drip system, pivots. Now we have new technologies called end-drip. We can have people in this room who will be interested in looking at the next technology for ensuring that we make effective use of water resources and be able to irrigate our crops and grow all year round. So for me, the call for young people to take up the challenge of agri is not just a call for them to come in and till the soil as their grandfather or their parents used to do. It's a call for them to have an experience first with the sector, like John said, by starting small, and as you are doing that, learning what is opportunity in the field. Because today there are some guys called tractor tractors. They went through the Cosmos Innovation Center program. Today they've tried to Uberize tractors for farmers. It's an experience they had as to how difficult it was for farmers to get access to farm machinery. If you go on the field, if you engage with the sector, maybe you will be thinking about something different. So let us not see the call to participate in the sector that feeds off all of us as a call to come and become the farmer on the farm and only be interested in tilling the soil. It's a call for the young people to also observe the challenges the sector is having and developing solutions that can help the sector become more efficient, become more productive, and increase the productivity and food security we have in this country. So for me, my journey as a farmer has not been smooth. But all the problems I've faced, all the previous speakers equally face the same problem. There's no uniqueness with our problems. So as we speak today, the lessons we've learned from this practice are lessons you can also take and turn them into advantages and opportunities. So as much as I'm excited seeing many young people here today, I believe many young people and many more among you should begin to interface with the sector in very practical ways. Let it not end here. When you are on vacation, go to a farm near you. If you are home not doing any work, visit a farmer, speak to the farmer, understand the farmer's challenges, work with your colleague. That I spoke to Mr. Kofi Mensah. This is what he told me. Maybe in school, there was something that we're taught as to how to resolve Mr. Kofi Mensah's problem. Can we begin to innovate around how we can do that? And before you realize, you are on the next big innovation in the sector. It gladdens my heart that many young people are working to provide solutions for this sector. Yesterday, I was part of the judges for the Total Startup Challenge. Out of all the 15 finalists, more than 10 were solutions for this sector. And the passion with which those young people presented or pitched to the judges will tell you that they were people who did not only listen to people who complain about the problems and challenges of the sector, but they went into the farms, they were on the ground, they had an experience with the sector, for which reason they've been able to come up with solutions that are solutions for the future. So I encourage all of you here that it's an opportunity created by Reverend, and it's one of its kind. I've never experienced anything like this growing up. I think that maximize the benefit and the opportunity. Speak to him. He's a farmer himself. He should be able to give you an opportunity to visit his farm, to learn from him, or direct you as to where to get answers to your question. And when you do, please work towards those and begin to work on solutions for the sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Richard. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce some very special guests amongst us. We have Dr. Brown. If you are here, just wave. Dr. Brown is a medical doctor from Canada, medical doctor at St. Albert School of Medicine. Let's put our hands together for Doc. We have Dr. Tony Lack. She's actually one of our speakers, and I'm sure you've all heard from her, those who came early. She is founder and chair, Africa Legacy Trust, and she is based in the US and South Africa. Let's put our hands together for Dawn. We have Miss Ruby Nelson. Miss Ruby Nelson. Yes, there she is. She's a Global Africa Trade Chamber. She's from the Global Africa Trade Chamber, UK. We have Dr. Daniel Latte Jr. Doc is also from the Global Africa Trade Advisory Chamber, and he is the investment director. So, guys, ladies, after here, you have your investment advisor here. You can go and speak to him. Put your hands together for Dr. Latte. We have Mrs. Gladys Oredu. She is the communications director at Ghana India Chamber and Global Africa Chamber. Put your hands together for her. Oh, please. Please, I've already told you I am gender biased. And so I'm going to do what I said I will not do. I'm going to read the short profile of the next speaker because I am towards ladies. And she is a lady. She is also a lady farmer. Sapeni Kadako is a development worker and founder of Farmer Tribe Company Limited, a social enterprise providing timely access to agricultural inputs, training, and market to smallholder farmers in last mile communities in the northern Ghana. Sapenika is passionate about agriculture and works with smallholder farmers to increase their yields and income to improve their livelihood by providing smallholder farmers end-to-end solutions for their production. She has over 8 years experience in both crop and livestock value chain, and she also consults for various agribusinesses and commercial farms, assisting them on operationalization, maximization of farm setup and regulations. She is also able to help with business planning. If you need a grant, you can also talk to her. Sapenika's commitment to impacting farming communities has earned her many, and I want to repeat, many recognitions, grants, and awards. She is a Tony Elumilu entrepreneur, Forbes Africa 30 under 30, class of 2021, and a Mandela Washington Fellow. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our next speaker, Miss Sapeni Kadako, to come and tell us about her experiences in agriculture in Ghana, especially in the northern region. Put your hands together for our next speaker.
Okay. So pardon with me, I don't usually speak a lot because I'm the quiet type. So when Reverend invited me for this program, I thought, oh, we just come to the campus, speak to a few students. So when I entered the hall, I said, what did I get myself into? Next time I will ask how many capacity are we expecting so that I will know whether to decline or maybe fake an illness that will have me being busy. But I wanted to pay it forward. I remember sitting somewhere on campus. Then they said, oh, the agribusiness students, we are having a career exploration seminar where we invite people all over the agri sector to come and speak. So one particular day I was very late because on campus I was the businesswoman. I come to class, sleep a whole lot, no matter whether I'm face to face, because I had eyesight problems. So I won't sit at the back. I'll sit near the lecture and sleep. When I'm done, we continue with lectures. So I was sitting at the back, very tired, and there was one input dealer who came through the then USAID Advanced Project to come and speak. And he was an input dealer at Gushegu, somewhere in the northern region. And he said one thing that I took away. He said, I'm not educated. I earned my formal education somewhere in JSS 2. When I heard there was BEC, I didn't want to expose my non-seriousness. So after JSS 2, he stopped going to school. And then nobody would question. So he didn't have any problem with someone dragging him back to the classroom that like we had to experience. So he said, but still, I don't keep records. I don't know anything about whatever they teach me, profit and loss, keeping balance sheet and the rest. But I can tell you my business is profitable. I have trained my children through school. I have university graduates through my business because I decided to focus on it. So it stuck with me. Then, fortunately, with this student internship, I got the organization. After that, they invited me to come and do my national service with them. But the first week, I sat in the office and said, corporate sector is not for me. Today, I put on my best heel just to come and look presentable. But I'm a down shoe person, a sandals and a slippers person. And I don't have time for mini skirts, nice top to look presentable. So I was just sitting at the office saying, no, I can't do this forever. I can't breathe in this shirt. So what then will take me out of this? Even though I was working with as an agri development agency, which takes me to the field mostly, and mostly on the field is a jeans and a top, but still I felt uncomfortable with the corporate sector. So I decided to look around, and I find that, I can do something. I started. I won't lie. I started with, then when I was leaving the project, with my ex-gratia, if I was a politician. I started with it. And the first 3 months, I lost the money. I was sitting there. My mom was in Accra. Every day you call, how is business? How are you faring? I couldn't tell her that I've lost the capital because she would even be more worried than I was at that time. So I just sat in my room, polished my CV, add the necessary ingredients. Then it stuck with me. If I am giving up this early, then I shouldn't have started. So I looked for other alternatives. And fortunately that year I got some funding from the Tony Elumeno. It was $5,000 to keep body and soul alive. At least I could pay my staff. Then along the way, I got investors, I got partners, and we moved on to Farmer Tribe is as it is now. What I want to say, and other speakers have already mentioned, is persistence. I could have stopped. After all, if not for anything, when I joined the unemployed graduate, I give myself a year. I could have gotten employment, whether I was content or not. I could have gotten something. But I persisted. Always we see, especially with the startup, we see where people win awards, people win grants, people win fellowship, people win a whole lot of accolades and awards, and it's all over social media. But nobody shows you the preparation stage. Nobody shows you that one grant that succeed, we write about 10. There are some you just see the results and you get angry with yourself. You get sad. You say, I won't do it again. But the next thing you hear, you pick your phone, your laptop, and you start applying. Because I was persistent. Let's go through, I'll play devil's advocate. Let's go through the value chain. We have those who work before the field, extension, service provision. We have the input dealers. We have the seed producers and the rest. You find where you can put yourself. A farmer once told me, we were discussing this year's rainfall pattern as presented by the Ghana Meteorology and how it will affect agric. And they said there will be a lot of dry spell. And I said then, we need to plant drought-resistant seeds. Then they said, but when there is rain, the rainfall will be higher. Then one farmer said, so how can a seed be drought resistant and also tolerate a lot of water? So I sat there and said, someone could look into that. If not for all the crops, at least maize, rice, soya bean, our staple in Ghana here. I live in Wale Wale, and every morning there is a convoy of truck going to Burkina to pick tomatoes. The women have to pay cash because everybody fear each other. The farmer in Burkina fears the Ghanaian trader. The Ghanaian trader fears the Burkina farmers. So when they are going, they go with cash. And that's, people got to know, and they were developing operations along the way, attacking the traders. So now, when you get to Tamale, you need to go with a police escort. They leave you at Wale Wale. The Wale Wale police then send you to Boga. Boga transfer you to Navrongo. Navrongo pick you up to Paga. Paga people will then send you to Burkina after buying, bring you back safely to Ghana, and then they disperse. Not only are we losing money to purchasing tomatoes from other countries, we are also losing resources with all this escort and also fuel. Is someone here interested in tomato farming? Let's look into that. Because if not for anything, day in, day out, 10, 11, 15, 20 trucks of all shape, all capacity sizes, they are in a convoy, racing after each other to go to Burkina to pick tomatoes. Those days when I was growing up in Kumasi, we used to hear the Akomadan tomato farmers. And they were the movers and the shakers, even more than the cocoa industry. That sector, one way or the other, due to other certain things, collapsed. Is someone motivated here to start something over them? As we talk about the rice, I work in the rice industry, so I know a lot about it. From parboil to direct mill. There are people who come into Ghana to pick Ghana rice to import, but still we are busy with Cindy, Millicent, and the rest. When we can have Teni, Lareba, Amasewa, and the rest and be eating, then at the end of the day, you cook the rice and say you don't understand why it's in your rice cooker and it gets spoiled. Why is it that it has become hard? It's the same packaging, but the taste has changed. And still, the next day, we'll go back and buy. But nobody is interested in trying Royal Farmers, Nunez rice, and all over the local brands that are available. Then crop science, I know there will be a crop science student here. As someone looking into animal farming, I went to the cold store. I saw something and I asked my mom, what is that? He said, that's the cow throat. And I said, the throat, I don't know. We import cow throat, chicken feet, and the neck, and there are people buying. That's how much we import in terms of meat. Pig, when you schedule their delivery, can give birth 3 times a year. Very fertile and very energetic. 3 times a year. And by the time it is giving birth to the 4th later, the firstborns will have been also busy getting ready to give birth. So with 2 pig female swans, you can have a litter of, I think, 40, 50 within a year. Very profitable business. Rabbits give birth like rabbits. They can produce and produce and produce till you say, I will not mate you. Is someone looking into that? We have a lot of sectors we can look into. Now, what I have seen when you are on Instagram, Facebook, is the new appetite it seems Ghanaians have developed for foreign processed food. We have drop shippings. We have a grocery stores that sells only imported groceries from Costco and the rest, even though they say it's not for resale, some way, somehow, it comes here. Is someone looking into it? Or is someone motivated enough to look into it to see why is it that someone like China Gari, instead of the hard, dry one from home that we know is crispy and it doesn't take all your needle and sugar? Is someone looking into that? We talk about getting our hands dirty. Maybe you are not a hands dirty person, but right now, importation of shellers, importation of crop planters, they are all from various countries. Germany, US, Israel, China. Is someone doing something? I was glad when Isaac Sessi started the Green Mates, because as previously, I used to work with one of them. I think it was from Grammy. So when I wanted to start my business, I looked into buying one. And when I saw the price tag, $3,000, I said, yes, my capital is $5,000. Why do I buy just a monster meter for $3,000? Until I heard Sisi was developing one right here in Kumasi for 500 cedis. And I was fortunate to get a startup discount and bought one. Is someone looking into it? Corn shellers. See how bulky a corn sheller is. It comes all the way from China. Is someone ready to go into that? Do designs, weld something, or get fabricators to weld it. Go around, test it with the farmer. Is it effective? Do you want it? If I produce, will you buy? is someone looking into that. We even import plows, digs, and all those things. Someone can work on that. So always we look at the sector and complain about the problems there. I always say 2020, 2021, 2022 has been very noisy. From Corona, election, we went on, and Russia is doing its own thing. Right now, we are talking about a whole lot of some levies. I don't understand that much. But you need to sit down quietly, quiet that noise, and look before you. What do you have? What do you want to offer? You don't need to start big, but you need to think big and start small. Nobody is forcing you that you started with tomatoes. You have to do tomatoes or be in the tomato value chain so you are tired and give up agric. You can start, pivot, do a whole lot of things and make sure you succeed. Nokia started doing toilet roll. Now they diversified, they pivot, they did whatever, and now we know Nokia. We know Amazon started with books. Toyota started with sewing machine, and now we have cars and other things from them. Sony was a radio repair shack. It went on to do the rice cooker. It failed massively, and now we know Sony as it is now. Samsung started exporting fish, fruit and vegetable. Now, I know everybody knows Samsung, and their campus they have in China, that is almost like a city on its own. So that shows that people didn't get it right at the first time. Not the second, nor the third, but they were persistent and find their niche. They found their place and stuck to it, and that's how people became successful, and we have a whole lot of success story we are looking at. So to end with it, with no resource, keep working. Bad resource, keep working. Great resource, keep working, because consistency is key. Thank you.
Put your hands together.
And this is a project which is very dear to the president. And whatever it requires, whatever it needs, has been provided.
Mubenya breakfast, enya lunch, mubenya snacks. After boy no mubenya market train mienu. Buy party amam. Amoni adi amam money angoda mudi am. Ebi akoma moye ne momba ne ade ne muma me no omudi. Because December no you try come in full salary. Ebi ba ko middle of the month, ba ko so 31st. I'm a general no mo wan dey. Anchi.
this is a project which is very dear to the president. And whatever it requires, whatever it needs, has been provided.
Mubenya breakfast, enya lunch edi, mubenya slate. Afresu boy no a mubenya market twa no mienu. Be party amam. Amoni ade amam mo ne ankoda mo dia. Ebi akoma moye ne momba ne ade ne mo maame no omudi. Because December no twa ka mienu full salary. Ebi ba ko middle of the month, ba ko so 31st. Am a general no mo wan ade. Ankyere.
Agriculture. You say the time is now. Ghana youth in agriculture. No, I didn't hear the people here. Ghana youth in agriculture. Good. And the people here, no, I want to see if I combine the two of you, you'll be louder than them. Ghana youth in agriculture. Keep clapping for our convener, Reverend Evans Tremensa. And sorry for the mishap. I'm sure it won't happen again. We are in Ghana, so we can understand. I want to once again introduce the speakers again. as you listened, we have the convener, our own Reverend Evans Tremensa. We have, and please, this is not in any order. I'm just looking at the brochure and I'm mentioning the names. So we have Mr. Kofi Ofosu Nkansa. Please put your hands together for him. We have Dr. Louis Carol Sewa Donko. Put your hands together for him. Our brother John Dumelo, I'm sure you heard him. Put your hands together for him too. We have Dominic Odro Entry. Put your hands together. And we have our sister Amma Sewa Frimpon, my namesake. Come on, put your hands together for her. And you have my good self, Mr. Kwekufosu Frimpon. Put your hands together for me too. We have Sepenika Dakon. Come on, put your hands together for our sister. And then we have Mr. Bright Dakon. Come on, put your hands together. And surprisingly, he's our next speaker. I would like to introduce our next speaker. I'm trying to find the profile, so I read for your hearing. Mr. Braidakon is a professional banker, and he's the head of Business Development and Projects, Ghana Export and Import Bank. You didn't let me finish. No, I will finish. So stand here and listen to your profile. No, I will finish. I want to finish. I know. I've been asked to read this. So I have to read this. So please just be here. Oh, you can laugh. Okay, so I'll just cut it short. Okay. So he started his career in banking in 2005 as a loan officer. He's a farmer as well as the general manager for Ghana Exim Bank. Please help me welcome our next speaker, Mr. Bright Dakon.
Good morning. And all protocol observed. We have senior men and senior women here. I can't mention all your names, but all protocols observed, and I acknowledge all of you. I have a short presentation for us. I've been doing banking since 2004, and I started farming 2 years ago. And one day, I woke up one Saturday morning, I was going to the farm, and I asked myself, so all this while, what was I doing? Why didn't I start early? And I'll be talking on a case for agriculture, an insider perspective. So I'm not talking to you as a banker, I'm talking to you as a farmer. And the reason why we are talking to you as students is because many a times we are not exposed to certain opportunities. Not that we can't take advantage of it. Not that our people are lazy. Not that our people are not innovative. Not that our people doesn't have the inner tenacity. But they don't know. They genuinely don't know. I never knew of banking until one hot afternoon I entered into a bank. The air conditioning that blew on me. When I saw the dressing of the people, I said, I'll be a banker. And today I'm here. So I believe that as we expose our youth to some of these things, they will begin to see the opportunities. There's one bank I worked for, the deputy CEO. He said something. He said, bake your own cake. Never forget this. He said, bake your own cake. You know why? If you bake your own cake, you eat as much as you want. Have you been to a wedding before and they're giving you a cake? You see the size they give you? If it is your own cake, you can eat everything. You can choose how much flour, how much butter, how much milk you want to put in it. Don't forget this. I'm a banker, but I'm baking my own cake in agriculture. And to teach you, Honorable, I in the next 3 years, when I start harvesting my coconut, in fact, I realized that my annual revenue from coconut will be more than double my salary as a general manager. So why will I wake up at dawn Saturday and go to the farm? If I don't tell you this, you wouldn't know. So it is more about opening agricultural world up to you. Maybe a lot of us will not end up in agriculture. That is fine. But there's somebody sitting in the corner somewhere that after today, his career is made up. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Because of time. Now, misconceptions about agriculture. The reason why many youth don't go into agriculture. Agriculture is for poor people. Do I look poor? They say agriculture is for poor people. It's a lie. If you go to America, only 2% of the American population are into agriculture. But they feed America and they export some. Are they poor? No. They're not poor. Is Mr. John Dumelo poor? I'm sure he drives his V8 to the farm. I drive my Prado to the farm. It's not for the poor. In fact, today I intentionally wore suit instead of African wear because I want to change the narrative. When you watch TV, you see people with tattered dresses doing agriculture. That is not agriculture. Agriculture is bigger than that. It's not for poor people. Number two, it's very difficult. But what is not difficult? What is not difficult? Everything is difficult. It's very risky. But know one thing about investment. The higher the risk, the higher the what? The higher the risk, the higher the what? That is why in agriculture, you can make up to 40, 60%, sometimes even 100% of your investment in agriculture, if you do it right. Now, the risk that agriculture used to face in time past is now becoming a thing of the past. Now there is a lot of knowledge. There are gadgets that can predict rainfall. Now you can even calculate rainfall without any prophet telling you it will rain or it won't rain. Now there is agric insurance that you can take over your crops and over your animals. So that assuming it doesn't rain and you don't get the yields that you expect, insurance will compensate you. It's a thing of the past. That what if I plant and it doesn't rain? Just insure it. And I was surprised to know that with just 1%, you can get agric insurance. Just 1%. Now, it is for people in the village. It's not true. It's just because we have a lot of land in those areas. But agric is not for the people in the village. This is a wrong misconception. So somebody look at himself, graduate, agriculture. No. Let me bring something to your attention. It's been said that 60% of us in this room as students will end up in professions other than the one we are studying. I did political science. I'm here as a banker. Pastor Evans did political science. He's here as a pastor. I don't know where you end up. But agriculture is not for people of the village. Just change that perception. There was one time we had a strategy session. I plant coconuts. We had a strategy session about 5 coconut farmers. We are all bankers who are now into agriculture. We had a strategy session. And when we did the cash flows, one guy just looked at me and said, I now understand your vim. It is not for village people. Change that perception. And let me tell you, maybe you didn't know, a lot of rich people in Ghana now are going to agriculture. A lot of rich people. And they do it on Saturday, so you don't see, they don't announce it. It's not on radio. That's why you don't see it. But a lot of rich people are going there. Why would they go there? Do you know Zoom Line is into agriculture? Oh, you didn't know? He's into agriculture big time. But as I said, where the money is, the rich people, they won't announce it. It is not for village people. Let's move to the next slide. The next slide, please. Now, why agriculture? It's a sustainable sector. It's a sustainable sector. Have you ever heard that this agriculture have collapsed? We know industries that existed 10 years ago that don't exist again. Say agriculture existed, now agriculture doesn't exist again. Agriculture started with Adam. It is still with us. Maybe it's only in heaven that won't do agriculture. It's very sustainable. So it's a sector that will not pass with time. Now, number two, it's Africa's competitive edge. About 62% of the world's arable land is in Africa alone. And Africa has the youngest population among all the continents. This is the future. In fact, most of the lands in Europe and other places, if you don't add fertilizer, you won't get anything. Ghana, even our backyard, you just put a seed there. Don't water it, don't do anything, it will come. We have a competitive edge here. 62% of Ghanaians are into agriculture. Do you know why? What it means is that we traditionally have the know-how. It's a competitive edge. No entry barriers. You don't need any license. If you want to be a medical doctor like Dr. Eunice today, how many years in school? 7 years. Agriculture, you just walk in. You just walk in. You just wake up like the way we wake up to it. By tomorrow, you are a farmer. No entry barriers. In other words, you can start with half an acre. You can also start with 100 acres. No barriers at all. Okay. And agric is very profitable. Agric, and the catch here is that I will talk about the critical success factors, but agric is very profitable. Don't be deceived. If you see a banker doing something else, please take it serious. Take it serious. I tell people that for where we sit, we give people money. So we know where the profits are. So if you are going into fuel distribution or fuel station, I know the margins. You are a Nestle distributor, I know the margins. Agric is very profitable. Don't be deceived. Let's move on. Now, key success factors. Key success factors. Number one, proper land acquisition. It's been a major challenge. Many people have lost their farms because they didn't acquire the land very well. Let me teach you one free way of acquiring a land. If you're a student, you don't have money to buy a land, to lease a land for 50 years or for 30 years. Number one, there is a principle called Ebusan. Have you heard of Ebusan? Oh, how many of you have heard of Ebusan? Ebusan means that you can go to a landowner and tell the landowner, give me your land. Okay? I'll farm. I'll take 2/3 and you take 1/3. You get free land. Now, you do it in this way. When you do 10 acres, you give him 1/3 of the farm. Or all the profit and the yields that come, you give the person 1/3. And it is all over. In fact, there are some places in the north, if you even go with a sheep and a snap, and you say, I'm a young person, I want land, it can be given for free. So don't say, I don't have money. Look for ideas. You can lease it to 50 years. So, there are some land you can even rent 6 months and 1 year. Are you aware? Just 6 months, rent it. Short crops, 6 months, 1 year, you rent. Then from the profit that you generate, you can keep on acquiring more. But make sure that your land papers are right. I bought one land, eventually they chased me out with guns. Especially if you are buying a land in Eastern region. This is free advice. If you are buying land for agriculture in Eastern region, be very careful. For Ebri, don't go there. Number two, be demand driven. Demand driven means that you don't go and plant sweet potato. When it's 1 week for harvest, then you're now looking for market. Start with the market. What is the market looking for? Then you go back to the land and plant it. So start with the demand. So for example, there is a pineapple factory in your area. Do you buy pineapples? You say, yes. How much do you buy it? We buy it at this price. Okay, then you do a calculation. Okay, I'm coming. Then you go and plant. You don't plant first and say, where is the next pineapple factory? Who can I sell to? No. Many people have bent their fingers by that strategy. You know how I went into coconuts? Let me tell you, let me share this for free. I went coconut because we had several coconut applications. They will bring the request. Oh, I have orders, 5 containers of coconut a month, sometimes a week. 10 containers of coconut a month, and they said we don't have the coconut to supply. Then I was asking, how much is it? Then they said a container of dry coconut is about $15,000 to $17,000. Say, and you don't have it? Say, yes, we don't have it to supply. I said, you two say you don't have it to supply. You two don't have it to supply. Can I see the contract? When I saw the contract, then I went to plant coconuts. So, even though coconut take 4 years, I have 2 buyers' contacts in Dubai in my email. And I'm now planting. Be demand-driven. Then number 2, be profit and passion-driven. I'm a capitalist. Don't say, I love agriculture. Me, I love agriculture. When you're hungry, you stop. Be profit and passion-driven. The two must go together. There is a place where poverty will hit you. The passion will drop. So be profit. What am I talking about? Be calculative. I know how much profit I can get from a tree of coconut. How much not? If I'm asleep and you wake me up, I know everything. The profit first, then the passion. For me, when the profit is much, the passion will flow. You understand it? But somebody to have the passion yet. But don't just follow passion. The two must go together. Because agric is very difficult. It can be very difficult. So if the profit is not driving you well, you will give up along the line. Now, seeds and quality input, don't go for cheap things. Oh, they said they are distributing seedlings for free. Then you go and queue. Do you know where it's from? Garbage in, garbage out. First principle, Agric 101. Garbage in, garbage out. If you go and plant cheap seeds, cheap fertilizer, cheap insecticides, you get cheap yields. Do you know that almost all the crops we have in Ghana, our yields are below the world average yields? And number 1 is that our seeds, the quality of our seeds and our inputs. Okay, so please just watch that one so that you don't come and say, they came to tell us that agriculture is profitable. When I did it, I didn't see anything. Garbage in. Then the next one is proper care. Absentee farming. Proper care. Don't leave your farm in the hands of your relative. No relative will ever work in my farm because it can bring family problems. Proper care. Proper care. Don't do part-time. Don't have a farm and go for funeral from Friday afternoon and come Monday morning. It doesn't work like that. Especially if you are doing vegetables. 2 days. You make one slight mistake, 2 days you can lose all your farm. So proper care and then good agricultural practice. Let me give you this advice for free. Agric is science. Hello? Oh, hello. Agric is what? It's science. And science is not try or luck. It must be proven. So look for an agronomist to guide you. There is a way things work in agriculture. Just as you will not go and lie down for anybody I thought to operate you and say, I have a passion to be a doctor. Then start cutting you. No, that's the same way. That's the same way you have to look for somebody who is an expert. I have a coconut agronomist. He has over 37 years experience in coconut. Whatever he says is what I take. So I tell him that I'm an investor and a farmer. What you say, you are there. When am I going to learn about all agriculture before I start planting? No. So buy the expertise. And it will amaze you that sometimes you can even get it for free. Good agricultural price. So these are the key success factors if you want to succeed in agriculture. Let's move on to the next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so agric value chain. I'll finish very soon. Agric value chains and where you can plug in. When we talk of agric, many people see it as going to put seed in the soil, watering it. No. Agric is big. Agric is way bigger than that. So we have the production. Even the production. We have nucleus farm, where you own your own farm. We have outgrower, where you have a bigger nucleus farm or a factory that provides you the input. In fact, sometimes the nucleus farm can provide the outgrower every input that he will need. So you can start having a farm free of charge by being an outgrower. Free. If you go to a Kumfi now, the one district, one factory in a Kumfi, if you go there now, the outgrower, honorable, they provide them everything and even give them stipends until they start harvesting the pineapple. So people just wake up and they are just farmers without even putting in one cedi because of the outgrower scheme. Then there's something called the block farming. Block farming is where somebody gives you the land, gives you the input, and you farm on his land, and he buys everything off you. The advantage between the outgrower and the block farming is that your market is secured. The one giving you the support will buy everything off you. Then we have contract farming. Contract farming is where somebody gives you money and said, okay, I want to buy maybe this tonnage of soya bean or whatever, but I'll give you 50% plants. When you harvest, then I'll pay. So it's like they pre-finance the cultivation or the production that you are doing. The next one are aggregated. These people have a lot of money. Most people, I don't go there. They go to the bushes. They don't plant. They just buy, aggregate from the farmers, and then supply it wholesale. You don't need to be a farmer to be an aggregator, but there is a lot of money here. I know one lady in Accra, you know what she does? She drives a Lexus V8. All she does is that she goes to the north. She's not from the north. She's a Fanti. She goes to the north, buy share nuts when the season is on, come and supply it at Tema. That's all she does. And she drives a Lexus V8. She's an aggregator of share nuts. That's all. The next one are exporters. Exporters are people who may be either farmers who are exporting or aggregators who aggregate and then they export. So they aggregate, and instead of selling to a local factory, they aggregate and then they export. That is cool business. Very, very, very cool business. There are a lot of people in Accra who are exporting agro products and they don't have 1 acre of farm. The next one is agro processors. Agro processors are value addition. People who add value to the raw materials. They add value to the raw materials and then they bring it out onto the market. So, like a Kumfi is an agro processor. Beaumont is an agro. Blue Skies is an agro processor. Premium Foods here is an agro processor. Vesta Oil is an agro processor. Vesta Oil processes soya bean oil. It's an agro processor. And the country is talking about industrialization. And sometimes in China didn't industrialize with big factories. They industrialize with backyard small SME factories. Start small. But make sure you add value. And when you add value to your product, you can increase the value of the product twice. Sale and distribution of agri-inputs, fertilizer, insecticides. What our sister spoke about, the example she gave. Agro-inputs. Just you can import them or you can be a distributor. In fact, you can make a lot of money here without stepping in any farm. Just buy the agro-inputs. Because people always plant. Then sale and rental of agri-equipment. Sorry, it's not input. It's agri-equipment. Like tractors, like harrows, plow, and all those things. Then the next one is agronomy and agribusiness consulting. Those of you who are doing agriculture in school, agri-science, you may not farm, but you can go into consulting. You can go into consulting. That all you do is that you provide consulting on agronomy or consulting on agribusiness. It is very profitable. I know people, there is one man who just bought 2 V8s one day. Buying 2 V8s, one for himself, one for his wife. All he does is this consulting for people on agribusiness. Then the next one is haulage and logistics. Haulage and logistics. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the various opportunities available that you can plug in and start a lucrative career in the agri sector. Let's move on. I think I'm done. Thank you very much for your time. I think later on We'll be around to take questions. Thank you very much, and thank you, the organizers, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please clap once again for... Okay, just to inform you, when we are done, please don't be in a hurry to leave, because we have some farmers who has actually prepared some sumptuous meal for all of us here. We have Ghana rice jollof. Ghana rice jollof. We have Ghana chicken. And then we have fish for everybody here. So please, when we are done, please wait to be served before you leave. Oh, I thought you were clapping. When I was doing the introduction, I intentionally left out the guest speaker. I wanted to do it on a special note because I have personally known him since I was also a little boy. And he's been my mentor. In fact, when I was in school, he was the school prefect at our school, Opokuware. And I was actually his, his attendant. I was his attendant. So I was serving in his room as the school prefect. So today we have the special guest, the Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance. Please help me welcome Mr. John Kuma. In fact, Honorable Dr. Professor John Kuma. We have our next guest. In fact, we are left with 3 powerful speakers, just like the others. So I'm going to introduce them one after the other. Our next guest, I thought he was the one coming. I will also let him stand here so I will read. We have our next guest. He's the Chief Executive Officer for National Entrepreneurship and Innovations Program, NEIP. He's in the person of Mr. Kofi Ofosu in Cancer. And he is a technology and innovation professional with 16 years experience across various industries. His work experience spans telecommunications, free zones, utilities, entrepreneurship, innovation, and many other industries. In 2017, he was appointed as the first managing director of the Accra Digital Center, that is Ghana Digital Centers Limited, where he was tasked to lead and drive innovation and entrepreneurship in tech ecosystem to help harness the digital potential of Ghana. During his tenure, he operationalized the digital center and achieved 100% occupancy in just 2 years. I think it's a good time to clap for him. Under his leadership, thousands of digital and ancillary jobs were created for the youth at the center. Several thousands were trained in digital skills and innovation support given to over 1,000 tech startups. In 2019, Kofi won the Africa Public Sector Conference's Young Public Sector CEO of the Year award. The International Telecommunications Union, that is ITU Global Ecosystem Best Practice Award, and was listed among the 30 most eminent STEM CEOs in Ghana in 2020. Kofi holds a computer science degree from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. It's a good time to clap. He also holds an MA in marketing strategy from the University of Ghana. You didn't clap. He holds a professional diploma in marketing from CIM UK, plus other professional qualifications. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the CEO of NEIP, Mr. Kofi Ofosu.
My name is Gyas Francis. I am the Chief Operations Manager for Quail Masters. Quail Masters is a beneficiary of the NEIP. As Quail Masters, we are into the production of quail eggs and meat. Our quail have a lot of benefits for health-wise, for employment, and also when it comes to the area of medicine. Quails are known to be birds that are very healthy for human consumption, and historically, quails as animals can be traced from the Holy Bible. If you read quotations like Exodus chapter 16, verse 15, it talks about quails. In our part of the world, quail production is a new venture, and it is only few people in this country who knows about quails. But I would like to use this opportunity to tell the general public about some of the health benefits of
Honorable Deputy Minister and Reverend the Convener, or other protocol observed, my sister CEO from NELP, or other protocol observed. I think it's a great opportunity to stand here to speak to young people who are interested in agriculture. As it was read from my profile, I was also here. I was very much involved in socio-political activities. So Akata Slopesa, Tescon, Spartan, Indiso, and here we are today also coming back to speak to you. I entered campus in 2001. That's 21 years ago, right? Right. So maybe in 20 years' time, or even less than 10 years' time, you could also be here to address some students from Kenya University. We've heard a lot from industry practitioners in the agri sector value chain, and it's very exciting to see various professionals doing farming. We've heard from actors, lawyers, bankers, corporate people, what have you. It is just to tell you that agric has no uniform. Everybody qualifies to do agric, and there's money there, so you can also focus there. What are we bringing on board as government? My senior Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance is here. I'm sure he will also add to whatever I say. What is government doing to harness all these wonderful opportunities and potential in the agric value chain to help the youth of the country to take advantage of the numerous opportunities? If you look at the Ghana Cares document, the Ghana Cares document is a revitalization strategy after we had COVID. Government has put up an economic program to help us restore our economy to normalcy. And one of the key focus areas under this program is agriculture. That is supporting the youth to go into commercial farming, moving away from the traditional subsistence farming, the whole and cutlass farming. And then the second tier is building Ghana's light manufacturing industry, which is the agro-processing that others have spoken about. And there is a specific focus on rice, poultry, cassava, sugar, and tomatoes because of the gap in these food crops. And what is the gap? Each year, government spends, or the country spends, $2 billion to import these food crops, both raw and processed form. And we think this is an opportunity we can fill locally, and we have energetic youth who can go into agriculture to help us do this. We get just $2 billion from cocoa in foreign exchange, and that money goes back into importing food. So it's like fetching water with basket. Whatever foreign exchange we earn from our major cash crop cocoa goes back into importing rice, poultry, cassava, sugar, and tomatoes. So what is government doing to stop this or to help the populace go into agriculture to help stem this? Rehabilitation and modernizing irrigation facilities to support commercial agric under what we call the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Program. Reforming the fertilizer subsidy program to improve distribution to minimize smuggling into neighboring countries. In addition to, of course, other flagship programs like Planting for Food and Jobs, rearing for food and jobs, aquaculture for food and jobs, and other agri interventions like the warehouses and silos that we have built across the districts of the country. Now let's delve into the specific crops. If you put rice, poultry, wheat, sugar, and their related products together, we spend $1 billion on their imports each year. Rice alone, we import over 700,000 metric tons of rice at an estimated cost of $400 million, representing 60% of rice consumption in the country. So 60% of the rice that we consume in the country is imported. Government has started investing in rice millers in the northern country and some parts of the Volta region and silos to help produce local rice, process them in the form that we like to import from Thailand and other Asian countries so that we can close this gap. Poultry alone, we import $100 million worth of poultry products each year, poultry. And that is why, if you look at YouStart and the Youth in Innovative Agric, we have included all these crops because the figures are there and there's no need to reinvent the wheel. We are working to close where we are doing a lot of importation as part of government's import substitution strategy. If we're able to do that and produce and process locally, then we can have our CD value appreciating, because as much as we continue to, or as long as we continue to import food with dollars, then our CD will continue to suffer. So it is a major strategy under the overall import substitution strategy of the government, of the Nunez Danko government. Cassava, we do a lot of cassava importation. If we're able to produce cassava locally, we can be able to substitute the wheat flour that we import from China, Ukraine and Russia. And because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, there's pressure on flour and the price is rising. If we had that cassava industry to provide us that high value cassava flour, we wouldn't have been in the situation we are in now because of the war. So it's very necessary we focus on these crops. Sugar, we import 160 million worth of sugar each year. And it is expected to increase to about 550,000 metric tons by 20,000. If you look at Paraguay, Brazil, and the Southern American countries, they do the cassava sugarcane plantations and use very simple equipment to process the sugar. Why can't we do same in Ghana? Have small factories across the districts where the lands are good for sugarcane plantation, plant them, process them, and bag them like we have our packed sugars, and then make some money from it. I mean, Commander is being revived, but we don't need only the big sugar factories. We can do the small-scale ones to also help reduce the sugar that we import into our country. So, what is NEIP's role in helping solve this import problem? We are going to do farming in cluster forms, so block farming, cluster farming. If we take poultry, for instance, we are going to develop cages and get service provided to set up the poultry farms for the youth. Pay them, and then you'll be given your cage. We will do same for all the other crops. So even if you don't have the know-how, as General Manager Bright said, if you don't have the expertise, you will fail. So what is government going to do? We are going to pay for the services, pay extension services, pay for those who build the cages, pay for those who procure the day-old chicks, and all other inputs that you need to set up so that it will be scientific and easy for all of us. We won't just give you the money for you to go and waste it because you don't have the know-how. So when it comes to the startups, this is one of the approaches that we'll be using under agric, poultry, and the rest to ensure as many youth as possible are attracted to go into agriculture. Cereals, another important area. We also developed mechanized crop production in the northern Ghana and other areas where the land is good for cereals to ensure that the youth have all the services provided them to undertake their farming activities. Aquaculture, another good area which is coming up. People consume catfish and tilapia a lot now. The beneficiaries of the aquaculture cluster will have fish farming tanks allocated to them. A service provider will be engaged to provide managed services for the recirculation of the aquaculture system, fingerlings, feed and other production supplies and advisory services. All this is going to be done with technology, smart agriculture. So we are moving away from the subsistence farming to modern ways of farming. Government is bringing the money and the resources to put into it. Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance is here. YouStart is a vehicle to create 1 million jobs in the next 3 years. And you are the target. So it's exciting to meet young people from even the secondary school level here. Once you are 18 years, you qualify to apply for YouStart. You will get opportunity to fill a form, indicate your areas of interest. There are consultants who direct you and train you before you set up your business. And it is our wish that in the next 3 years, through these agri-businesses and other sectors of the economy that will be putting the YouStart money to, we can create as many as 1 million jobs. Clap for President Nana Addo Dankwa. And government is not going to do this alone. It's going to be a partnership with the private sector. So all these experienced farmers who came to speak to us, they are going to be part, they are going to be your mentors, they are going to speak to you. Some of them are going to be service providers in the program to ensure that we are not repeating mistakes they made, and then you guys will have a smooth ride when you take up your farming activities. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a 2 billion gap to close regarding import substitution for food crops alone. And all these are opportunities that young people should take advantage of to fill this gap, to ensure that we strengthen our city and make agri attractive for generations unborn. I will end here for other speakers to continue. Thank you very much.
Please clap. Clap once again. We want to welcome our next speaker. Hello. Are we all happy to be here? Are we learning and are we taking something from this summit? Thank you very much. We want to quickly bring in our next speaker. Like I said, I'm going to read again because she's a lady and I'm going to take my time to read. I'm for ladies. The next speaker, Dr. Louise Carol S. Donko. Dr. Louise Carol Sewa Donko is currently the coordinator for the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, NAELP, under the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, focused on providing interventions to reclaim degraded mined out lands and mitigating unemployment among the youth in illegal mining. In Ghana, we call it galamsey. Before then, she was a policy advisor on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, at the Office of the President. She has lectured both in the UK and Ghana and has served as the Ghana lead for a number of international organizations. Again, she has worked as a broadcast journalist in Ghana and in other communications capacity in the UK. In 2013, she was in residence at Howard University. He was in residence at Howard University Communication, Culture and Media Studies Department in the US. And McGill University Center for Democratic Citizenship, that is in Canada, undertaking research on political communications. She's an old girl of Gyas Santua Girls Secondary School. I think it's also a good time to clap. She holds a BA in Political Science and Psychology from the University of Ghana and a PhD in Communications and Media with specializations in Politics and Gender from the University of Liverpool, United Kingdom. Dr. Sewa Donko has a long-standing interest in politics, gender, and youth issues. And while at the University of Ghana, she became the first female to be elected as president of the Students' Representative Council in 2007. Oh, you can clap better. She believes in the humanity of all and is passionate about education, social and political reforms in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our next guest speaker, Dr. Louis Carol S. Donko. Please, clap, 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 clap for her. Like I said, she's a lady, and please clap and clap once again. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Your very positive gender bias is showing. So, thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon, Honorable Deputy Minister, my colleague, CEOs, fellow speakers, and let me say, all protocols observed. I am very delighted to be here today. When I did come in, I was wondering what the greetings for youth in Ghana is. But I think that it's been sorted out because we had our sister Amasewa introducing the Assemblies of God youth chant. And then now we have youth in agriculture. So when I say youth in agriculture, please do give me the response. Youth in agriculture. Did we forget the response? Youth in agriculture. I know it's a mouthful, so that's fine. So my job here is very simple. I mean, not as interesting as, you know, the other speakers. I think they have really given us everything we needed to hear to be able to venture into agriculture. So that really isn't, you know, my job. I also actually didn't know that I could learn so much about agriculture sitting in a conference room or a lecture theater. So I feel very equipped and I feel very knowledgeable. I want to even step into consulting now because I could use the PowerPoint here. Yeah, so thank you so much, Reverend Evans, for putting this excellent, you know, program together. And it is a privilege to be on this platform with these very knowledgeable people. And to let you know that, you know, for the intervention that the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, has, you know, brought. NILP was launched last year in October by the President. And that is what I'm going to talk about and be able to expose us to some of the opportunities that might, you know, be relevant to us. We all know that, you know, the President has launched a very huge campaign against illegal mining, which is destroying our forest, which is destroying our water bodies, which is destroying our farms. It's destroying a lot of what we hold dear and a lot of what, you know, brings us good foreign exchange or income or revenue in the country. Right, so NILP is meant to be able to help us do a number of things. So I will just talk to us about the objectives of the program, why alternative employment and livelihood, then, you know, scope of the project. Then I would talk about the planned interventions. I am going to be very, very quick on this. So even me outlining things doesn't in any way suggest that I'm going to take long, here. So NIOP, please, can we have NIOP's logo? All right, so it is to provide alternative employment and livelihood program to miners who have been impacted by government's management of challenges in the illegal mining sector, as we know. One of the areas that we also focusing on is to be able to reclaim degraded lands in mining communities to enhance, livelihoods. And the third is to be able to ensure that small-scale mining is performed responsibly. So why alternative employment and livelihood? We know that people have lost their jobs and sources of livelihood due to the sector sanitization. So the president, or let me say the government, is not against mining. What the government is against is the irresponsible way that we mine, the unsustainable way that we mine. And because there are, a number of our citizens involved in that, a number of our youth involved in that, due to, livelihood challenges, they've lost their jobs because of the sector sanitization. And so we are here as NIOP to be able to provide alternative employment and livelihood for them. They do what they do. They go, I think, the length of 15 poles down the earth to be able to get gold, for their sponsors, the people who sponsor them into the illegal mining venture, so they can also get something to eat. So it's a very passionate thing for the government to be able to do something about, right? So we are not going to mine forever. All these natural resources that we have, it's not forever. There is going to be a point that it's going to be depleted. And when they are depleted, what are we, or the youth in those communities, or the youth engaged in mining, what are they going to fall on? So that is also why we have alternative employment and, livelihood, right? So I will skip the rest. So where is this program taking place? What's the geographical scope? So people in mining communities across 5 regions. We have the Ashanti region, Eastern region, Central region, Western North, and the Western region. And the category of beneficiaries are the small-scale miners, the casual workers themselves, the sponsors. It's a whole, do I say cartel or chain, right, of sponsors, of fuel suppliers, of artisans, of fabricators, of farmers, of hoteliers. It's a lot. All these people are meant to be catered for, because once people go to a community to engage in galamsey, there are those who are there renting some property to them. There are those who are selling food to them. Once we say that you can't do illegal mining here, and you've not been, let's say, transitioned into community mining, it means all those people are going to lose their jobs. So we are meant to provide alternative employment and So, this is okay. You can just show the logo, or you can mute the video of NIOP to play at the back. Yeah. Okay, so there are 6 interventions, or the proposed, components for the program. There is the land reclamation and afforestation program. And I think that's where, one of the areas where, we can build some synergies or have some convergence in terms of interest. There is agriculture and agro-processing. There is skills training and then entrepreneurship. There is responsible, viable, and sustainable small-scale mining, which is community mining. What that means is that, people actually travel from their let's say, regions or different towns and go to other people's towns where they feel there is gold or where they believe there is gold, and they go and mine. So what we are doing, one of the interventions, which is the responsible, viable, and sustainable small-scale mining, also called community mining, is that when you are in a community where we discover that there is, gold, for instance, we put the community together to be able to mine the resource themselves. I think that is a good initiative by the president. You should give him a clap. Because most times what we know is that it's other people who come and mine our gold, mine our lithium, mine our bauxite and all that. We are also interested in mining as citizens. And so the community mining program is to enable those whose lands we find these resources to engage in mining them and benefiting from them. I think once I repeated this, I feel the president deserves another round of applause. Yeah, and so there is the Mine Support Services and Community Enhancement Projects. So now, away from all that, the introduction around NIOP. So I'm sure some of you have heard about the Green Ghana project. Last year, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, together with the Forestry Commission, planted 5 million trees. This year, we are planting 20 million trees. And NIOP, this program, is providing 16 million seedlings from our seedling sites. I think that video was shown. Why is it not showing the logo? What's the problem? So this year we are doing 20, and we've produced 16 million seedlings, which we are donating to Green Ghana. And so as you are gathered here, with all the motivation, the encouragement, and the inspiration that you have received, I'm sure that some of you would be very much interested in growing some economic trees, whether it is palm, whether it is teak, whether it is rubber, whatever that is. Do you have the images for the trees? Can you please show them? Just so you have an idea. So once you go back and you discover or you find your 1 acre of land or something, and you want to get some seedlings to be able to start this thing, practicalize everything that we're talking about here, NIOP is there to support you to do that. I think we deserve some clap. So on June 10, which is the Green Ghana Day, the first seedling would be lifted. And right after, you can go to any of your, the Forestry Commission's district offices to pick a seedling or seedlings of your choice. Please, I hope you heard that. After June 10 is Green Ghana Day, when the president will lift the first seedling. Once that is done, you can go to your Forestry Commission's district office to pick, a seedling or seedlings of your choice, and then plant them. So please, let's go planting. Let's go greening Ghana. Thank you very much. I think I forgot one thing. I know we are very much interested in money. So at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources as well, we have a project which can also support you with money to start your plantation. When you go to the Forestry Commission as well, we have reserves. So there are lands that if you don't have land to go and plant an economic tree, you can go to the Forestry Commission, make a requisition or a request. Of course, you go through due process. You can get the lands that you need, and then you can get seedlings to plant on top of that. And depending on the acres that you are doing or hectares that you are doing, you will also receive some loans. Other times they are grants, depending on the scale you wish to implement to be able to do that. So thank you very much for this afternoon.
Thank you. Please continue clapping. your hands once again for her. I want to do a quick introduction of Mr. Isaac Ajiri. He's the 2023 Atomokwa overall district best farmer. When he heard this summit, he said he must be here to encourage us so that we will all go into agriculture. Let's put our hands together for him. And before that, before I introduce our special guest, I also want to welcome everybody whose name has not been mentioned. If once I sit down, please let the ushers know, and then I'll give you the privilege to mention your name. Let's put our hands together for those who wouldn't want their names to be mentioned. Let's put our hands together for them. And before I call our special guest, I want to welcome our brother Kwesi Che. He's the Ashanti Regional Communications Director for the NPP. Let's give it to him. He accompanied our Honorable Minister. Now, I'm going to read the CV of our special guest. Honorable Dr. John Amponchi Akuma, the current Member of Parliament for Ejuso in the Ashanti region, is a lawyer and an entrepreneur with over 15 years experience in leadership, creativity, innovation, resourcefulness in creating jobs and supporting youth development. As the first CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, that is NEIP, he successfully positioned the program as the enabler of the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Ghana. Under his leadership, the program trained over 7,000 startups in 2018 under the Presidential Business Support Program and supported over 1,300 beneficiaries with funds. Can we clap at this juncture? Prior to working for government, Honorable Kuma was the founding member and managing partner of Adua Prochi Chambers, a law firm. He also worked as the founder of Majak Associates Limited, a building and construction company. In November 2020, Honorable John Kuma received a doctorate in business innovation from the Swiss Business School in Switzerland. Before then, he had acquired a master's in applied business research at the same business school in 2019. His rich educational background includes a postgraduate diploma in applied business research in 2019 at the Nobel International Business School, NIBS. In 2019, he had an executive master's degree in business administration, that is in finance, from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, that is GAMPA. It all began at the University of Ghana, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in economics with philosophy, a Bachelor of Art degree, that is LLB, in 2011, and a professional law certificate from the Ghana School of Law in 2013. He was admitted to the Ghana Bar in 2013. As an entrepreneur by birth, a lawyer by profession, a politician by choice, a preacher by divine calling, he sees none as this as an accident, but a call to serve humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our own Honorable Dr. Professor John Kuma.
Thank you very much, Bishop. Good afternoon. CEO for NEIP, my brother Kofi Fosu, who is also Okatachie, Reverend Okatachie Evans, and my good friend, Dr. Sewa Donko, and all the farmers here. If you're a farmer here, give me a high five. And students, it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Agriculture is a very important topic for me because both of my parents are farmers, cocoa farmers. I was born in a deep village in Sankore called Motopene. When you reach Sankore, you have to walk like 3 miles. No cars can take you there. And so growing up, I know a lot about farming. I was on farms. I remember when I completed JSS in Sunyane, I was in a boarding school. The period when you have to wait for your results to come before you go to SHS. I worked on my father's farms in Sehuyoso. So 1 year of my life was into cocoa farming before I entered Opoko High School. So when I came, I was a farmer. And strangely, by some divine arrangements, I became the school prefect of the school. I'm happy to be here today because my good friend, Reverend Evans, he was also my prayer mate in the the SU, because it's a Catholic school. We used to call it the Protestant group, but it's also called the SU. We were prayer mates, and I thank God that you kept on to the faith, and you are working full time. Unfortunately, politics took me, and I didn't become a bishop. Apostle, I thank God for your life. So thank you for this invitation. All over the world, agriculture is the pivot of almost every country. And I have this experience. I mean, when we were growing up, even though I grew up on the farms, and my parents are still cocoa farmers, and I do a lot of things to do with farming, I didn't really appreciate the potential of agriculture until I traveled in my university days. One day there was a flight to London. I think it was in 2001. And we couldn't land at Heathrow Airport because I think it was 28th December. There was so much snow at the airport, we couldn't land there. And they directed us to Gatwick. We couldn't land. And finally, they had to take us to Newcastle. From Heathrow or Gatwick, which is all London, to Newcastle, it's like from Accra to Tamale. So we had to fly for about 30 to 40 minutes before we landed in Newcastle. Then they took us by coaches back to London. We spent like 3 days on the journey. I was so tired. But one observation I made was the countryside of UK. That was my first country I visited in Europe. From your left to your right, from Newcastle to Birmingham to Milton Keynes before you get to London, there are farms everywhere, on your left, on your right, even though it was snowing everywhere. And then subsequently, I had the opportunity to visit several other countries in Europe. If you go to Spain or Germany, there is no country that you enter in Europe that you don't see large-scale commercial farming. And then I asked myself, why is it that when you come to Ghana, even though we have the best arable land, that if you compare the kind of lands we have to the kind of lands that exist in Europe, the quality and its support for agriculture, we have the best of the lands, and yet we are not able to take advantage of the commercial benefits of agriculture. And so by the time you drive from Accra to Kumasi, the last stretch of land you see on your left and your right should all be commercial farms. It is only when we are able to translate the opportunities or resources that we have into commercial scale, that agriculture will be attractive to the youth. So when the CEO of NEIP was talking, he said that in the budget, and it's true, we have budgeted $2 billion, almost annually, $2 billion on food importation into Ghana every year. And you have more than 60% of your land as arable land. And you have more than 2 million of your youth looking for jobs. So if you have the labor, and if you have the money, and the demand is there, and you have the land that can give you the production, why can't you connect it? Why is there a disconnect? And I have come to two realizations. Two things must happen in this country. If we want to turn agriculture into green gold, and I speak as a son of farmers. First of all, I was not so much interested in my parents' farming because of the cutlasses and hoes method of farming. In fact, it was always drudgery to be told to go to the farms. I will not lie about it. Even though I enjoyed supporting my parents on the farms, it was not an interesting experience. And I remember in school, when you did anything wrong and wanted to punish you, what was the punishment? So you all have that experience, right? So we have not made agriculture, forgive me to use the word, sexy. It's not attractive. Now, if we want to make it attractive in our country, two things must happen. And it must happen on the policy front. And I'm happy that by the grace of God, I'm a Deputy Minister of Finance, and I must help to make these two things happen. The first thing that must happen in our country is mechanization. We cannot continue to do agriculture in Ghana with the cutlasses and hoes. And that kind of subsistence, 1 acre, 2 acres kind of farming. No youth is interested. That is why even though there is money, that is why even though there is demand, the youth are still not going into agriculture because the packaging is still not right. So when I had opportunity to be the CEO for NEIP in 2017, I had opportunity to travel to India, and I met India Exim Bank executives and the global board chairman of ACE, Action Construction Equipments Limited. They are into production of tractors and farming implements. So quickly I went into discussions. How can we have this factory in Ghana? And I'm happy to inform you that last week, the Parliament of Ghana has approved a facility of $25 million for Ghana to set up a tractor assembling plant and manufacturing and fabrication of agricultural implements in our country. And guess what? This factory will be located at Ejiso. We are going to do this in partnership with the KNUST, Agricultural and Mechanization Departments. So hopefully, very soon the youth of Ghana will have the right implements. And I was listening to the lady who was speaking when I entered. Pabenka, what's the name? Sepenika, yes. She spoke so well and was, I could relate that how do we have the right implements to support the agricultural ideas of the country? Even plows, we are importing. Shellers, we are importing. Every equipment that will make agriculture easy for the youth to go into it at commercial scale level, we have to import. These things must change. And I'm happy to announce that government has taken steps to ensure that very soon, we are not just going to have the tractors being assembled in Ghana, we are actually going to manufacture and fabricate various agricultural implements in our country to support the young people to go into large-scale commercial farming. So let's be ready. Very soon, we should just have 5 of you turning the length and breadth, right and left side of our highways into the large-scale agriculture that exists in all over the world. Everywhere. It's only in Africa that you come and you drive through forests from one highway to another highway. It doesn't exist anywhere. Let's turn our lands into productivity. And I agree with you, you cannot do that with cutlasses and hoes. So we have to get it right. The second thing we need to do is value addition. If we really want to make agriculture a green gold and change the youth into agric, then the usual sale of agricultural produce, I have produced cassava or plantain, and I remember when Bridakon was speaking, he said aggregator. Okay, so some big woman in Accra or Kumasi will go to the village and buy the raw produce at a very cheap rate. He will just go and add value, small value to it by just marketing it to the center. And then she's making all the money. If you do that, no youth will be interested. We should be able to encourage you to start with a small-scale manufacturing processing. So we are not only interested in going to give you the equipment and the machinery. We are interested in helping you to set up value addition, the processing machines that will help you to add value to whatever you are producing before you sell. And when we are able to do these two things, you create value, you mechanize agriculture, and empower the youth to do commercial farming, we are going to see a different kind of agriculture in our country. And with that, will position our country to be able to feed not just Africa, but the world. Just recently, they said Russia and Ukraine are fighting. Ukraine is a food basket of the world. Because of that, there's food shortage. We want to beat Ukraine in the next few years. Ghana is going to be the food basket of the world. And there will be no fight here. So we will continue to feed the world by producing at very high commercial rates to feed Africa and the world. So the future is in your hands. And I want to assure you that government is determined to support you to make sure that this future of an attractive agriculture, an agriculture that brings productivity and prosperity to its people, is achieved in our country. We will do that when we work together. And I'm here to assure you that we are going to achieve that. And in line with that, because we know that one of the key components of farmers has also been financing problems. And so government this year has announced a program called the U-Start, as you can see it, to be implemented through the NEIP program, COFIFO and GEA. We are going to make available about 10 billion cedis in the next 3 years with much focus and emphasis on agriculture and agribusiness so that you can have finance to do that large-scale commercial agriculture that we are talking about. And so let's be very hopeful. Let's believe that we can build a country we are proud of, a Ghana that can compete and feed the world. Because it's not for nothing that God has made our land so fertile. And anything we put on this land, it will do well. Let's position ourselves to create that country of prosperity. And let's build a Ghana that can feed the world. I thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you can do better. You can do better. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Deputy Minister, thank you very much. I'm sure we are all gingered and we are all getting ready to start our entrepreneurship journey. We thank the speakers. We thank you all for coming. And the next speaker is going to be our own visionary, Reverend Evans Tremensa. You can clap. Before he comes, you want to stand. Before he comes, I want to read a short profile of our convener. Reverend Evans Tremensa is the Chief Executive Officer of Agri-Impact Ghana Limited and Sunkwa Farms, an agribusiness firm engaged in production, processing, and delivery of cassava-based derivatives and other agribusiness services. A multi-talented personality who combines determination, commitment, and intense advocacy with the aim to strategically transform the Ghanaian cassava industry. Through hard work, he seeks to become a leading global player in the addition of value to cassava. He also founded AgriWorld Ghana, a not-for-profit organization that seeks to inspire and drive agricultural transformation among the youth in Ghana and then Africa. He has successfully held various conferences on modern methods of farming and agribusiness across various institutions in Ghana, successfully executed an APEL CEDA KNUST project that trained over 200 women in mushroom production in 5 communities in Brun region and developed a thriving market for them between 2012 and 2013. He's the founder and lead convener of Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit. It's a good time to clap. Which is a wholly non-partisan platform aimed at mobilizing over 1 million youth across Ghana and beyond to channel their energies, talents, and focus in agricultural transformation to spare the youth in agricultural transformation. He owns, as you heard from him, over 500 acres of farm, cassava farm plantation, and he's still not done. I think it's also a good time to clap for Reverend. Reverend Evans passionately teaches the principles of life to drive and transform communities, thereby having a positive impact on every national level. He holds a degree in political science at the University of Ghana, and currently he's pursuing MSc in Agribusiness Management from this very institution. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our convener, the visionary, Reverend Evans Tremensa. Please put your hands together for Reverend.
Thank you, Mr. MC. I would like to appreciate everyone here, but first of all, let me acknowledge my wife, Dr. Eunice Tremensa here. Let's appreciate her. Come on, let's do it better for her. Oh, come on, let's do it again for her. She's giving me a lot of time and space to do what I'm doing. She's a consultant pediatrician and very passionate about children as well. And I want to thank her for her life. Thank you so much. And then we have Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister on our mess. Let's appreciate Honorable Deputy Minister. Honorable Deputy Minister is very, very accessible and accommodating. And even when he had not become an MP and not even had been in government, we had a very long-standing relationship all the way from Opokuwari. I believe that a relationship is the best value you can ever have in life. If there is anything, you have to look for relationships, okay? And then I want to also appreciate the CEO of NEIP, Mr. Kofi Ofosu. Thank you for coming. Thank you for that friendship and partnership. I would like to, ladies and gentlemen, thank the CEO of National Coordinator of the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, where they are into making sure that all our mining communities, are well served to fight climate change. And she's here, Dr. Carol Sewa Donko. Sorry, let's appreciate her, Dr. Sewa. Thank you so much for your time. I also want to appreciate and thank Mr. Bright Darko, the General Manager for SME Ghana Exim Bank. Let's appreciate him. Thank you for your commitment. As a matter of fact, he just arrived from Germany on a business trip. As he landed in Accra, he connected to this meeting. So as he's sitting down, he has not rested. I don't even think that he has even eaten. Thank you, sir, for coming. God bless you. Let's appreciate him again. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I have the president of the Ghana India Chamber of Commerce and the chairman of the Global Africa Trade also here, Dr. Dominic Odro Entry. Let's appreciate him. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you. Thank you. I met him recently in Washington and I connected, and he's a good man. Thank you so much for coming. I have Dr. Tony Lack, Yvonne Lack, the board chair of Africa Legacy Center. Let's appreciate Doctor for coming. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming. She saw the flyer, she saw the campaign, and then she is also a representative of the U.S. government, also in Africa. Let's appreciate her. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for coming. We have Dr. Brown from Canada and also in U.S. Let's appreciate him. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think you gave me some list. I don't know. Some of your representatives. We have Dr. Danilate Jr. here. What is Dr. Danilate? Let's appreciate Dr. Domestication. Have you heard of domestication before? That is domestication. Yes. Dr. Dan, thank you for coming. Thank you. I think he's the investor director for Global Africa Trade. We appreciate your coming. We have Miss Ruby Nelson. That is a Global Africa Trade rep in UK, also here. Ruby Nelson. We have Gladys Oredo, also a communication director for Global Africa Trade. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We have the principal of the Tropical Agricultural College also here from Western North. He's here. Let's appreciate him. Thank you. Thank you. My PA should have given me all the list so that I could mention everybody's name and acknowledge them. It's very important that I do that. So if I can get them, I will appreciate it. I can see some honorable men here. And please, if the ushers can get me, my PA can get me the list so that I'll mention their names before we close. I will appreciate it. So all protocols we observe. I would like to talk about the vision of the Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit and why we must do this now. It is now or never. Say now or never. Say it again, now or never. And by the way, the jollof rice and chicken and fish, okay, are ready right now. Right after we finish it, the jollof rice and chicken and fish from Ghana is ready. Is that okay? With drinks and everything. So don't worry, you eat till thy kingdom come. All right, so I want to make a case for agric. I am not an expert in agriculture. I am just a passionate farmer. Somebody who has seen an opportunity in that space and I've taken advantage. And I want to see that everybody in Ghana, especially our young people, will see the same thing happening. Is that okay? Now, the thing that I get that make me very, very sad is that when we were growing up, when they ask you, what do you want to become in future? Somebody will say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a development expert and all that. Never did I ever hear somebody saying that I wanted to be a farmer or to be an agribusiness person. Never. 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 The only time we heard about farming when we were young was when it was time to be punished in school. Isn't it? When it was time to be punished in school. Of course, I didn't introduce Sepenica here. Let's approach Sepenica and my guest, Ama Frempong. Ama Frempong is using the husk of cashew to develop ethanol at the Sampa district. And she won a grant of $50,000 from Cosmos Innovation Center, right, Ama? Cosmos Innovation Center to develop ethanol. So as she's sitting down there, she's innovating how to develop ethanol for the global market. And that is a woman in agribusiness lead. Let's appreciate her. Let's do it better. We have Lawyer Richard. Lawyer Richard is let me say, a sharp and an experienced farmer. Years ago, he used to do Anyako farms. Anyako farms. I mean, we heard him. When I heard him, Anyako farms, I think I was at the SS or the university. He has been doing it, and he's a sharp guy. And right now, what they are doing is that they are using irrigations, how they can use irrigation to mechanize our farming system so that we can increase productivity. So, what we are talking about here is that the future is now for us as the young people. Dr. Carroll organization is bringing opportunities to every one of us who is ready to go into tree planting as a career. Tree planting as a career alone, seedlings. If you want to go into cashew, if you want to go into palm nut, if you want to go into aquaculture, the opportunities are plenty here. So, like our CEO Kofi Fosu was speaking, he's saying that right now, if you are ready, there are people out there, okay, with all the officers, they are there with their phones. If you are ready now, government is going to release the money. I read in the newspaper that the government was earmarking 30 million, please, Mr. Fosu, 30 million Ghana cedi for youth in agriculture. 30 million Ghana cedi. It is for us, the youth of Ghana. Are you hearing me? So the forms are outside. Immediately we finish, please go there. The officers are there. Tell them that, please, the government is giving us 30 million as young people. Where is my share? I want to go into farming. Are you hearing me? And of course, he gave a caveat that they won't give you the money, okay, into your hands so that you divert it to go and do funeral. We will be there, or their consultant will be there to help you, guide you along the way how you can do it. But here is the catch. You have to see the value in agribusiness in order to develop the passion. You must see value because value must drive the passion. I always give this example that when you see somebody in a boxing ring, and by the way, there is nothing like I am talented in boxing. Nobody has talent for boxing. Boxing is not a talent. You train it and then you fight and get your money and then you go. It's as simple as that. So when you see somebody, fighting in a ring and being beaten and being punched in the face and his face getting swollen, it's not because he wants his face to be swollen. It's because he has seen a value of $1 million, $2 million being credited into his account. So by the time they are beating him, at the back of his mind, you beat me, let me go for my dollars. You beat me, if you beat me at the end of the day, I'll still get my dollars. Value, say value. Come on, shall I say value? In the same way, if we see value in agribusiness, we will surmount every limitation and every trouble and obstacles to get there. And that is my focus. My focus is that we will see the value in agribusiness from the way we do agriculture as a way of life to the way we do agriculture as a business. Say a business. Say a business. And within the next 3 to 5 years, it is my dream to mobilizing 1 million youth across Ghana towards this project. Why am I doing this? Let me give you the real fact. It may be political, but let me give you this fact. Look, we have almost about 17 million of our population being young people under the age of 40 years. If we don't create jobs for our young people now, it will be a disaster sooner or later. The reason is this: when our young men's energies are not mobilized for positive action, and one day somebody is able to mobilize their energies for negative and wrong reason, it will be a catastrophe for all of us. Are you hearing me? So the time is now for us to mobilize our youth, mobilize our young people towards agribusiness in all the value chain, in all the supply chain, whether in the area of trees, tree planting, whatever. This is the time for us to do it. Are you hearing me? And I am appealing to every one of you here to take this opportunity. Take it now. Take it now. The opportunities are there. They are there outside. The forms are available. As we said, you can put yourself into groups. If you are ready to go into aquaculture, if you are ready to go into palm nut seedling plantation, tree plantation, coconut plantation, please, this is the time. Whatever you are doing, whether into vegetables, any business idea that you have that you want to do it, all the officers are outside. Immediately we finish, go there right now and get your name down with your business name down, or whatever information you have, give it out. Because my focus is not only to do the conference. My focus is that we will mentor some of you and almost all of you here. From here, we want to transition you from the conference grounds to the actual work on the ground. That is my desire. So that next year, when we meet here at KNUST, we will have about 1,000 of you, 2,000 of you who have already moved into agriculture and its related value chain, with success stories to show, with videos to show. Are you hearing me, somebody? Because the way we do our agriculture here, if we go into Europe, if we go into China, if we go into America, young people are engaged into agriculture. Why is it not happening in Ghana? Why is it not happening? It's because of what I call image disconnect. Say image disconnect. Our young people don't see it the way they have presented it to us. But I am determined to change that stereotype. Put your hands together. I'm determined. I am determined. It is my God-given mission. This one is an assignment. It is an assignment. It is like Martin Luther looking for freedom for Africa, for black people in America. I'm looking for freedom for our future as young people in this country called Ghana. That we will have shared prosperity. Because when you are prosperous and I am prosperous, there will not be any criminal people around us. Nobody will have idea to even go and see, because you have your basic needs met. The agri space is so big. As Mr. Dako said, you don't need any qualification to enter into the agri space. Everybody is qualified to become a farmer or a business person in the agri space. And this is the time. This is the time. This is the time. We import cassava starch, almost about $300 million every year. Yet, all our arable lands across the country can grow cassava. What are we doing? Cassava starch. One derivative from cassava alone can change the economic trajectory of our country. One. Just cassava alone. Starch coming from cassava alone. What about ethanol? What about gari? What about flour? The wheat that we import into the country, is more than $600 million every year. If we do what we call cassava-based flour, cassava flour, high quality cassava flour, even 30% of it can cut down importation to about $300 million yearly. The time is now. The time is now. The time is, we are determined to mentor our young people. And just before this conference started and I started a campaign and all that, I had almost about 20 of our young people from KNUST here, doctor, who have made available lands ready to go into agribusiness or farming of any kind of seedling available for them. They are ready, 20 of them. They went to their villages and secured lands on their own. So you have no excuse to tell me that there are no lands. Many of you here are connected to Ahimfie. Many of you here. Many of you here. Some of you can even become chiefs in the next 2 years. Some of you are Ahima people sitting here right now looking at my face. Some of you, you are coming from Ahimfie. Some of your fathers are chiefs. So lands cannot be an obstacle to us. Are you hearing me? Land cannot be an obstacle. What is important is the desire. Say the desire. So I said the desire. Because if you don't have the desire, no matter what government does for you, it will amount to nothing. If you don't have the desire, look, government can give you tractor, government can give you seedlings, government can give you even funds, whatever. It will not be anything. Because you don't have the desire. They can even plow the land for you, give you money into your pocket, and pay you monthly. Once the desire is not there, nothing works. So we need to have the desire, because that's where it starts from. Because when the desire comes, even the Bible says, when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. Your life begins with a desire. And desire is so powerful that it can withstand any limitation in life. And that is why you must create, you must develop strong desire to be economically sufficient within the next 5 years of your life. Strong desire. Because if we don't build our agri-food system, Dr. Tony said that over $2 billion of food, which was even collaborated by Kofi, are imported into the country every year. $2 billion. We have to rise up. The youth of Ghana. We have to rise up. This is a national development agenda I'm driving. It has no political connotation. It has no ambition. My ambition is to see the young man, the frustration in the young man's face, that when I finish school, I am going to SS. When I finish SS, I'll go to university. When I finish school, what is there for me? Many young people have finished university. They are still unemployed. They are sitting in their houses. Yet, lands are there. All that is needed is that somebody will cultivate a desire to see himself lifting him or herself out of the quagmire of frustration and say that I can do it. I will walk into the village. I will walk to the countryside. I am looking for a land. I want to do something for myself. That is where it starts from. You must catch the revelation in your mind that I must rise up and do something for myself. And thank God that these chief executives are here and telling us that there are opportunities available for you. Opportunities. Look, let me tell you. Everybody can look. Only few people can see. What are you seeing now in the agri space? What are you seeing now? What are you seeing? Open your eyes and see. Opportunities are abounding. Energetic men, energetic women. And we are staying in the house. And we are saying that there are no jobs. When somebody can write and say that I want to go into tree planting. I want to plant trees to conserve the environment, to fight against climate change. And she is here. This is the CEO. She is here. So why don't you come and see her after and say, Madam CEO, I want to plant seedlings. How can I go about it? 30 million Ghana cedi has been earmarked from NEIP for youth in agriculture, aquaculture, crop farming. Some of you can team up, build an app. We are in KNUST. You will finish electrical engineering, electronic engineering, and you will say computer engineering, and you will say you don't have a job. Hey! When you could have teamed up with your colleagues and developed a certain app that could tell about the weather and how farmers should behave and respond to the weather. And you are through. This is the time. This is the time. Young men, this is the time. Get the passion. See it as it is. Rise up to the occasion. Let's go and do it. We can make our country an enviable country in the next 10 years. If we have this, if we adopt a strategic approach to doing it right, starting from now. That is my call. That is what I am appealing to every one of you. And this is a campaign. From here, we are going to Legon. From Legon, we are going to Western region. From Western region, Bronhafo, Volta, all across the 16 regions. And that's it. So please rise up. Rise up. It has not been easy. If anybody tells you that farming is easy, he's lying to you. But as he said, nothing in life is easy. Even not doing anything is more difficult than doing something. It is more difficult not doing anything than to do something. Are you hearing me? It is more frustrating sitting in their house and not doing anything. Why don't you try it? Why don't you step out? Start by just making a decision, having a desire. I am stepping out. This is the time. Look, one day I just woke up and said, I want to do farming. That was it. I woke up last year, I woke up and said, I want to now bring people together and let them understand that there is space for them in the agri space, agriculture. When I talk about agriculture, it's not only crop and production and animal farming. We are talking about protection of the environment. We are talking about the management of the resources, of the natural resources of the country. Everything natural coming from God for us and managing it well in the broader theme of ensuring food security. So when we plant trees, we are ensuring food security. When we are getting our young men and women who are into illegal mining to move away and to enter into onion business from Niger. Onion business alone is $99 million every year. And we give employment and market to Nigerians because we are giving them $99 million every year. We are giving them jobs. We are expanding their market. Tomatoes is $107 million. I wish you could put it there for me. Tomatoes, $107 million from Burkina Faso. Just Burkina Faso here. The more we are expanding, we are buying from them, the more we are shrinking our economy. The more we shrink our economy, we are reducing our food production sector. The more we do that, what is coming is that jobs, will shrink. And when jobs get shrunk, you and I will not get jobs. When you and I don't get jobs, it will be frustration for us. And then when there is frustration, a hungry man is an angry man. And when we don't have food to eat, anything little can make you angry. That is where young people get onto the street. And when young people are frustrated and they get on the street, nothing can stop them. That is why it is time for us to move and change the narrative and let our young people know that there is space for us. There is space for us here in Ghana. Are you hearing me? Right now, it's worse. Right now, it's going to get worse. Because globally, Africa alone, over 269 million Africans go hungry every day. According to World Bank, $269 million. Sorry, people, Africans, go hungry every day. They starve. They don't get food to eat. Over 600 million globally are hungry. Tell you, something must happen to Africa. Ghana here. I have ventured into cassava. And I am making a case for cassava industrialization. It can become bigger than even cocoa. Some of us can go into fish farming. They are here. They've given us all the provision. They've given us all how we can get them. Are you hearing me, somebody? The gold will finish. Agribusiness will never finish. When you can't mine at the same place for 100 years, but you can do business on the land. We can do agriculture on the same land for 1,000 years. Since Adam, we have still been doing agriculture up to today. The biggest space that can employ the largest population of our young people in Ghana is the agric. And we can drive it in a way that will bring us the prosperity and the blessing. Are you hearing me, somebody? And I am making an appeal, a passionate appeal for all our young people that this is the time. I am willing, I've made myself available and willing to mentor as many as are ready to be mentored. And I'm going to make like the way I'm a pastor. So when a pastor preaches, make an altar call. This one is not an altar call to accept Christ, it's an altar call to go into farming. Altar call to take a space in the agribusiness sector. It's an altar call I'm making. An altar call where you are making a commitment to yourself that all is not lost. It is starting right now. I am willing and able to go. When we started the farm, there was nothing on the ground. But every day I will wake up and go to the farm. Every day I will wake up and go to the farm. Sometimes I get tired. I get broken. My friends will be in the city and I'll be at the countryside. But it was for a purpose. That's what I told you. When the desire is there, everything will work. It doesn't matter whatever comes your way. Once there is a desire, the desire will give you the passion, and that passion will drive you and make you surmount every unsurmountable troubles and obstacles. Are you hearing me, somebody? It starts from now. We are even lucky. We are even lucky. We are lucky that we have an agency or agencies that are ready to hold us and to support us and to guide us in the way so that there will be a shared prosperity. We are even lucky. Clap your hands for these agencies. It's possible. It is possible. Fish farming, fish alone is $150 million annually. Fish. We are importing. Recently, I was with a friend with Mr. Fusi Frimpong. A friend told us that even the fishes in the sea, they are all reducing. The fish in some group of people have now, they're using something petrol or something. They go deep in the sea and they are catching all the fish. They've invaded all the fish. So in the next 10 years, there will not be fishes in our seas. Paris is an agency, Feed the Future group with USA. He gave me the data. So what they are doing is that now they are looking for alternative livelihood way of getting the people along the coastal area to be able to now find something to do apart from fish farming. And one of the things they are going to do is that they want to move into agric area, because that is an inexhaustible space. This afternoon, I'm making this appeal. If you are here and you are inspired, you are ready to now take your destiny into your own hands and say that me right now, I won't say there is no job in Ghana anymore. There are jobs in Ghana. Just that I have not seen it. But today, at Agriculture, Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit, I saw the opportunities in the agri space. And I want to make this kind of journey with you. Pastor, I want to become agripreneur. I want to be prosperous. I want to have a decent life. I want from today, between the next 5 years, I want my life to be financially sufficient. I want to buy things for myself. I want to build my own life and destiny so that I can have a decent income and a decent future. And add on to the prosperity of our country. If you are here and you are a young person, I want you to stand on your feet right now. Put your hands together for them. Okay. Everybody's up. So it means that the message has gone very well for us, isn't it? Now, this is the catch. Every one of you here, I live in Kumasi. We are here. I live in Kumasi. The data is there. All the officers are there. Write your name and everything. We will contact you personally and then start to engage you. And I'll be going to I will come there. Even if you don't have a land, we will find a way of getting a land for you. Are you hearing me? We will find a way to getting a land for you. We will turn our Galamsey lands into a beautiful agri-based lands. It's possible. It is possible. Everything is possible if you believe it. And as we are making this commitment, it's a commitment to Ghana. That Ghana, we have hope in you. Ghana, we are going to have prosperity in this country. Like the deputy minister said, we are going to now build Ghana on our agri-base, driven with technology, and export food to all over the world. And it's possible. These are the guys who are there. These are all my officers. They are there. My team that I work with and everything. So you can just look at them and see them anyway. Give your contact number to them. Then they will contact you. Then I will mentor you. I will take you to my farms. A 500-acre cassava farm. Now it has even expanded to 630 acres. And I'll take you there. And I will tell you how we started and how we have got it to where we are. And I'll show you that you have to have a strong desire. It starts with a desire. And Ghana, which next year when we come here, some of you, about 100, 200, 300 to 500 to 1,000 of you will be standing here with your own story to show that you came here, you didn't even know how it will start, but it has started. And this is where you are. This is your income you make every year, every month. This is how you are, and this is where you want to go. It is possible, Ghana. It is possible. And this is my message to our politicians in Ghana, whether you are whether opposition or in government, that our youth are saying that it is possible. They are waiting for us. They are waiting for us. They are waiting for us. Our politicians, our young people are saying that they are ready to work. Give us what we deserve and we shall work it. It is possible. We are putting a strong monitoring system on the ground to monitor. Please, you can take your seat. To monitor everyone so that you can become prosperous through agribusiness. Thank you so much. And I want you to make this commitment with me. Say this after me. Say this after me. Say this after me. Say, today, I make a commitment to myself, to Ghana, and to God, that through shared prosperity and shared vision in agribusiness, agriculture, and its value chains, we will make Ghana proud. We will make Ghana proud. We will support the food system in Ghana. We will help export food to the rest of the world. So help us God. God bless you. We are almost done. Let's stand on our feet. I want the Gyas guys to give us a very powerful 1 or 2 minute, 1 minute Gyas, and then I'll close us. Then our item 13 will come. And I want to thank all the faculty members. I want to thank all the agri faculty, business faculty, science faculty, all the invited people, all the lecturers, the NEIP team that came a day or before. We want to thank all of you for coming. And this is it. We are going to come next year. Next year, it will be bigger than this. From here, we will be in Accra. If you are watching us from Accra, we are coming to Accra because you deserve it. Okay, we are coming to Accra at the University of Ghana after Easter. You get the news very soon. We are coming to Accra. From Accra, we are going to Western Region. From Western Region, we are going to Brunahafo. We are going to Volta, and all across the Eastern Region. There is a revolution. There is something happening, and the young people are ready to work and to make use of all the necessary natural resources that God has given to us. It is possible. It is possible. Stand on your feet as the Gyas play for us. Then we close. Put your hands together. This is the time. If you want to write your name, they are around. Just contact them. They write your name. We are going to the farm. We are going to plant trees. We are going to build the economy. We are going to change Ghana. This is the time for Ghana. We are creating jobs for Ghana. 1 million jobs for 5 years. It is possible. Agri-business is the way to go. Driven by technology, fighting climate change, ensuring food security, bringing income to our young people and women in the rural communities for shared prosperity. Wave your hand. Let's wave. Let's wave. It is possible. Let's wave. It is possible. Let's wave. It is possible. It is possible. This is it. Ghana Youth Agriculture Summit. It is possible for we, the young men, young women of Ghana. It is time for shared prosperity. A better future for all of us. Raise up your hand. As a pastor, that's how I do it. I'm not ashamed of it. That is my work. That is my work. I told the politicians that we are connected to the young people on the ground. If you come on board and we partner, all of us can have shared prosperity for our young people. There will be hope for all of us. There will be jobs. The economy will grow. People will be happy. Are you? Isn't it? My lawyer, when you have eaten and you are filled, you are happy, isn't it? But when you are hungry, you don't even want to hear anything, even that it is good for you. But the narrative has changed forever. Lift up your hands as we pray. We are grateful to you, Eternal Father, that the vision to change the economic prosperity of our young generation has commenced. And it is starting now. And we are saying that, Lord, let grace, let favor, let blessings abound toward us as we move out from the conference and the summit grounds to the actual doing, to making that vision a reality.
we ask of all the necessary tools to make it happen. Lord, as we dream to be economically sufficient, so that we can have decent income for our families, so that we can have a better future for our children. So let it be as you have planned it to be. In Jesus' name we have asked. Amen. God bless you, everyone. All our CEOs will be outside to interact with you. They are inside. If you want to interact with them, they are available. Any question you have, because of time, you couldn't ask questions. Whatever is on your heart, you want to ask, please ask them. Chisopraso Farm, thank you for coming all the way with your team. We appreciate all of you, everyone, the faculty members, dean, every one of you. We are appreciating everyone, the LSAC and all of you. Thank you very much, Mr. Louis from the Faculty of Agri. Thank you, you and your team. We thank you, all the ushers who volunteer. Thank you so much, instrumentalists, IT people, and everyone that travel from all the way from UK, Canada, and US and South Africa who are here. Our CEOs, God bless you. Our Deputy Minister, God bless you. We thank you. All those who came from Accra, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Put your hands together for our MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, the reception. Please. Money is coming. That's what he said. Money is coming. So please, if you want to register, please just step outside, and then there are people standing there, sitting there with computers. Get your name on the computers. Please go outside to register, and the food is also outside. It's waiting for you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you.